Hey, this is Ryan.
And Angie.
And we're also with...
Lisa.
Yay! Happiest vegan on earth!
And me and Angie are Happy Healthy Vegan. And Lisa, what's your social media and YouTube channel called?
It's called Happiest Vegan on Earth. So on Instagram, all one word, Happiest Vegan on Earth.
And YouTube the same, correct?
Yeah. It's just Happiest Vegan on Earth on YouTube as well.
In fact, in the show notes, guys, the show description, look down there for the links to Lisa, all the social media that we just referred to here.
Yeah, we can't forget her website either because her vlog is invaluable to vegan Disneyland goers.
Oh, yeah, I think I linked to that as well, happiestveganonearth.com. All right, so Lisa, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do? I think people might have some guess, but yeah, let them know if they haven't followed you already, what you're up to.
Yeah, at some point when I was, after I went vegan a few years ago, I guess it's been almost 4 years, or it's been a little 4 years, I've been vegan, and I realized that there was no like comprehensive source for what's vegan at Disneyland, and so I decided that I needed to be that resource, right? And so, on my blog, I have the list of everything you could possibly eat that's vegan at Disneyland. Yeah, and it's a lot more than people think. People are like, oh, that must be sort of a tiny little side project. And I'm like, it's surprisingly time-consuming to document this because there are a lot of hidden options that people don't know about.
Yeah, man, that's how we discovered you because, we are a big fan, of course, of the Dole Whips and the rice and beans over at the two Mexican restaurants that have the vegan options. But that does get a little bit old after a while. So we were looking online, and when we found you, like this whole new world opened up.
Keep talking, guys.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble getting the chat displayed. So you guys,
okay.
I'll get it. I'll have a workaround.
All right. I can't actually remember if we found your website first or your Instagram first, but yeah, you go into a lot of detail on the vlog, and man, it's pretty crazy. I don't think that the two of us have even tried every option that you have listed yet. There's so much has happened over the last couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I really only go out of my way to document new options now. I mean, I'll go back to my favorites a lot, but there's so many new things all the time and so many seasonal things that I'm really just like so many times I'm going just because there's a new thing. So I end up going like twice a week to Disneyland just to document everything, especially when there's the seasonal things, the Food and Wine Festival and the Festival of Holidays and all those things always have a bunch of vegan options. It's really weird to say like I go twice a week.
It does sound weird, but once you got us into the swing of it, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just bittersweet right now to be like, I'm so lucky to live close to Disneyland and to have annual pass, but it doesn't matter right now.
Well, okay, there's so many things I could say to you. First of all, isn't the fact that you live close to Disneyland like something you did on purpose?
Yeah, well, I moved back from grad school. I'm from Southern California. I'm from here, and then I went out to Vanderbilt for grad school. And when I moved back, I was like, okay, I want to live next to my family. I want to live somewhere in Orange County. Is where my family lives. And I looked at a bunch of different apartments all around, like Santa Ana and Tustin and some in Fullerton and all around, and it's just Anaheim is really more affordable than most other places in Orange County. So it was when I started the apartment search, it wasn't just for Disneyland, but by the time I finished the apartment search, I realized what were my priorities were.
That's really cool. I remember when we met up with you there, you had rode your bicycle over, so you live that close to Disneyland?
Yeah, I can walk too. I usually ride my bike because it's like 10 minutes on the bike, but I've walked, when I had a flat tire, I walked a few times, and that takes it's like 30 minutes to walk or 10 minutes on the bike.
Well, you mostly go to Disneyland to eat food, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I go by myself a lot of times. So I just, when I'm there with my family, then they'll pick me up on the way over. Usually.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you had a half-hour walk to Disneyland, that means you'll just be ready to eat as soon as you get there.
Yeah. No, I'm always sweaty, especially when I ride the bike. I'm totally sweaty by the time I get there. So get up.
Gee, I remember the first time we met you there. It was actually like a little heat wave, and we met around noon or something like that. It was so hot that day. Oh man.
Yeah, that might have been around, I think that was June last year, or whenever you got that, right before you got your passes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in fact, I think that's when the photograph that we used for the thumbnail today was taken from that visit. But we've seen you once or twice since then as well. And yeah, in fact, you're the one that encouraged and inspired us to get our first ever annual pass, because we used to go just once a year when our friend that works at Disneyland would give us like a free pass that he can give to his friends and family. So, we were only going once a year, although it's weird. Some people seem to think that we were going there a lot. I don't know why. I was like, I only go once a year. That's like nothing. When you live in California, that's nothing, right?
Yeah, once and two, it's always the same time of the year, because we would go around Angie's birthday, which is in February. So we'd always go in like sometime in late January or early mid-February. So we always saw the park at the same time of the year. So it's been really cool being able to go at different times of the year. Like, oh, I didn't know they put all these weird pumpkins out in the fall and the Christmas tree in the winter, and just all these new surprises for me. It's like seeing the park differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact,
it's different all the time.
Yeah. In fact, we didn't even know that there was these food festivals going on until we started following your Instagram account, and we saw that there was the New Year's, the Chinese New Year festival where they had the orange chicken last year. And then Ryan was like, okay, I have to get back there next year in time for that. So was that our first festival that we went to there? The Lunar New Year Festival?
I guess so. They're all kind of blurring together
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we still haven't made it to the Food and Wine Festival, which is the biggest one of the year.
I want to mention to people too that are watching, that are wondering how we're able to afford to go so often. It doesn't cost like $150 or $200 to go to Disneyland or something like that. We were going for free all these years, but there's passes that people can get, particularly if you live in Southern California in certain zip codes, particularly ones near the park. And Angie and I qualify for that. So we got the lowest price one, which basically added up to the same price or amount of money we pay to go to Catalina every October, which we didn't go to last year. So we just kind of did that instead. So we're not millionaires, in case people are wondering.
Millionaires. I don't.
Yeah, and the thing is, if it's your main form of entertainment, like I used to go to Burning Man every year, and I just, Burning Man costs about the same as a Disneyland annual pass. You're gonna probably spend about $1,000 going to Burning Man, right?
And ours are way less. Ours are way less than that. Yeah, at least it has the really cool pass. You can go all year pretty much. We only can go in the non-summer months and pretty much never on weekends as well, which is cool with us. We, since we're YouTubers,
we work from home.
Yeah, we can just go out on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to let's see. Tell people in the chat that we'll start taking your questions in a bit. If you have something really pressing, I guess you could throw it out there for Lisa and us. But we really wanted to get into why Disneyland and vegan, because a lot of people go to theme parks and you guys can relate. It's a struggle, right? Usually they're meaty meat festivals. It's really hard to find a potato, let alone some very cool vegan dish. So Lisa, for those who may not be aware, let them know kind of on a scale of 1 to 10 how Disneyland is doing as far as like kicking out some pretty decent vegan eats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they care about vegans more than any other theme park probably in the area. I mean, you can go at Universal. If you go to like Universal Hollywood, they have options, but it's still a struggle. I would say that Universal or Knott's are where Disneyland was 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And Disneyland is moving forward faster. And they have a symbol they put on the menu now that they call a plant-based symbol, and it's 2 leaves. Mm-hmm. And it means completely vegan, where you don't have to ask questions. And if you think about all these other types of diets that, people who work in restaurants, chefs, they think, okay, we got to cover the gluten-free people, we got to cover the paleo people, we got to cover the keto people, right? And that's what the people they're thinking about. And they don't have a symbol for keto. They don't have a symbol for gluten-free. They have a symbol for vegan, And so it's like they care about allergies a lot, but the first symbol they're putting up is for vegans.
That is pretty awesome.
I want to mention too that Disneyland is not only really really good about having vegan food throughout Disneyland. It's also true at right next door at California Adventure Park. It's also true at Downtown Disney, and you cover all of these on your Instagram, on your website. In fact, when we haven't been for a few months, we'll just pull up your website and see what's new, because you go literally when it's not shut down like it is now, you go every week, right?
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Twice a
I
week.
have to keep the information reliable. I have to go a lot because they do change things quite a lot. So I'm constantly asking the chefs and constantly verifying things because they do have that plant-based symbol, but a lot of things are not marked, or just one little modification and then it's vegan, right?
Yeah.
So if it's something where if the cheese were taken off, it would be vegan, but then they won't give it the symbol, so then you would never know. You would have to ask all these questions. And the thing is, since I go all the time, my time in the park isn't as precious as someone's time who only goes once a year.
Yeah.
And so I don't want someone who only goes once a year to stand in a line for 20 minutes and then get told no at the front. I want them to read it on my blog so they know and they don't stand in lines and waste their precious time, you know? Because I'm there all the time, doesn't matter. If I stand in a line and then I find out it can't be veganized, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you provide an excellent service, even for people like us who are now going more than once a year. Still, yeah, we look at what you're doing because, yeah, you know when all the new items get added. And let's talk about this really cool thing. Talk about how great vegan is about Disney right now. Let's talk about how Disney announced last year that at least their parks here in the United States, that they're going to have, it's already almost there right now, but they will officially have do I have this right? At least one vegan option at every food stand, every restaurant, everywhere that sells food in the park. Is that right? One vegan option everywhere is what I like to call it.
Yeah, that's what they announced, and that's already almost the case. A lot of places have like 3 or 4 vegan options depending on how big the restaurant is. So a lot of places have a good, like a solid 3 or 4 options, but in smaller places, I can sort of count on one hand the place where you can't get a vegan entree. There's Flo's Diner in California Adventure, where it's just horrible. I mean, it's like the 1950s, right? It's supposed to be 1950s diner, and it is really like the 1950s with the food.
I don't know if I've even noticed Flo's Diner. What's that near?
Where is it even by? I've never seen it.
Is it in the Cars Land? Okay. I think I have seen it, but I've never walked in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's great theming. It's fun to sit in there, like all the beautiful like mid-century furniture and the music. It's really fun place, but the food is bad. Even like not just like the fact that there's no vegan food, like the food itself is bad.
Okay, we got to petition them.
Well, that'll change. You said from what their Disney promised last year. I know it'll be slower to roll out now because the parks are closed down, but that's their goal.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the food and beverage team is working on stuff even when they're not there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But they're furloughed.
I mean, just think about this. This is amazing. Fellow vegans and plant-based people, that Disneyland is officially announced that every restaurant, every food place there will have one vegan option everywhere. That really shows where this kind of food is at right now. I was impressed by that announcement of there's so much. I stole that into my campaign when I was running for city council here in Long Beach. I said, look what Disney's doing. They're not doing this because they're like ethical or moral, or they're doing this because they know there's a demand for it. People want to buy this food, and Disney's more than happy to provide it. So that's what I was trying to start here in Long Beach. Offer, if I were to have been elected, make sure that everywhere that Long Beach has food, anytime they have an event, there's vegan options, at least one vegan option everywhere. If people say, well, that's just too weird, and I go, is Disneyland weird? No, they're like one of the most profitable corporations that's ever existed. If it works for them, it can work for anyone, especially in California.
Well, hey, if they want to live up to the credo of the happiest place on earth, then they have to have vegan options. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. This is what I said on the ABC News interview when she asked me, like, why should Disneyland have vegan food? And I said, well, Walt Disney was an environmentalist and a conservationist, and he cared deeply about the environment. He had all these nature films. The reason they made all these nature films when Walt was alive is because he loved nature and he loved animals and he loved preserving the environment. And so it makes sense thematically. Disneyland is always trying to be more environmentally friendly, right? So it makes sense thematically for vegan food to be in Disneyland.
And one could only speculate. I know it's kind of anachronism, but if Walt were doing what he's doing now, innovating and alive now, he might possibly be plant-based or vegan because it would fit into that whole philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a futurist. That was when, especially at the at the end of his life, he was a futurist par excellence. That's who he was, right? And so he was constantly trying to see where trends would go and seeing where the future was going and trying to get on that and not being afraid of these trends, but actually moving forward.
Wow, so I'm glad that bit of Walt Disney got put into the company's DNA, so to speak. They kept that forward thinking and environmentalism going. But even if it's just pure old-fashioned capitalism, it's still not a bad thing. That's what I try to tell people. People think it's like a trade-off. It's like, no, veganism is part of the world now, part of the business world. It's the fastest growing food segment out there, like double digits compared to like low single digits for everything else. So yeah, veganism is here to stay, and it's really sad. Like we were talking about how Knott's Berry Farms is not quite as good. We were looking at their menu. Like we were considering going there to do an episode, and we're looking online at the food options there, and I don't even think it's where Disneyland was 5 years ago. It looks like where Disneyland was like 20 years ago or something like that. Yeah. It's like, whoa, no, I don't think we can go to Knott's Berry Farm. But it's funny, like Disneyland, I've said this to Angie 100 times, I feel like we're going to a vegan festival. You guys out there that have been to like, all these vegan festivals before. You go to all the food vendors and get all these vegan options. Well, it's not exactly like that because there's meat stuff at Disneyland too. But it's like, I feel like anywhere in the park I can go and get some awesome vegan food. It's just like, because of you, we know exactly where to go and we turn it into our own great vegan festival. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about our favorite dishes if we can. I don't know who wants to start that one off. Like what dish is it and where do you get it at?
Oh, that's at Lisa start. She knows everything.
Yeah, because you've tried everything. Yeah, what's your favorite dish, Lisa?
Okay, I'll do, so the one from the Disneyland side is the Rantolis garden wrap. I think is everybody's favorite right now. And so it's from Ronto Roasters and Galaxy's Edge. It only came out last October. It feels like a long time ago, but it was last October. Oh. So that's why that was the first copycat recipe I made when I started making copycat recipes a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too.
Yeah. And then my favorite dish at DCA is from the studio catering truck. It's the backlot nachos. Oh. And that is the one tomorrow I'm going to make the copycat recipe for those.
Oh, how exciting. How exciting. Well, not to change the topic away from our favorites, but you've done at least 3 of these copycat recipes so far?
Yeah, I've done 3 so far. And then tomorrow I'm filming the next one.
All right, cool. And they can find that on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, there's a video for each one, and then the recipe itself is on the blog on happiestveganearth.com.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to have all the links like Ryan said.
Yeah.
All right, and then how about what's your favorite in the classic Disneyland park?
Not counting Star Wars, yeah.
Not counting Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me think. Before Star Wars Land, what was my favorite over there? They have like, it feels like so long ago.
I know.
Before Star Wars was open. I mean, Dole Whip is always the best, but if we're talking like a meal or an entree, right? Mm-hmm. At Hungry Bear, they have a really great Beyond Burger with child cheese on top.
We haven't tried it.
That might be my favorite on the Disneyland side. Besides, what else is there?
The cauliflower tacos, maybe?
The cauliflower tacos. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say I like the cauliflower tacos a little more. I like the Hungry Bear burger a lot, but I would go for the tacos a little bit more than that burger.
Good.
Yeah.
And I know all about those. Those are at Rancho del Zocalo. They're kind of at the crossroads of Frontierland and New Orleans Square. My favorite, since we're talking about Rancho del Zocalo, that's where I love to go. It's the classic that people have seen us make on our Disneyland vlogs for the past X amount of years. I just like to go there. I love those cauliflower tacos. They're excellent. Nothing bad about them all. They're delicious. They're really, really good. But I really just like making the simple tacos that we make there. We get a side of tortillas, a couple sides of tortillas, side of beans, side of rice. Get some salsa and just make all these, and guacamole, yes, and then we just make these. They're really good. They're really filling, and it's a really like for Disneyland a pretty honestly good price.
I think it's because it's cheap. That's why he likes it. No, he can just keep going back and getting more and more.
Actually, it's really good. The
it
quality.
Is good. I find myself craving it.
I know we sit around the house and go, man, like we have all these places around here. It's like, gosh, I wish I was at Rancho del Zocalo right now making those tacos. It's high quality beans, rice, tortillas.
Plus, it's so cute there.
It is.
It's just one of the really cute restaurants. I saw it was even listed in someone's like most romantic places to have your Valentine's meal at Disneyland. It was like...
Okay, I know I'm not supposed to jump to the comments yet, but this one's awesome from Northbound. Sorry, folks. park closed. The moose out front should have told you.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that for sure.
Okay, so if you had a choice, babe, you'd rather have the rice and beans at Rancho del Zocalo than even a classic pineapple Dole Whip?
Oh, but that's different. That's a beverage. You can't really like...
A beverage?
I mean, you can't really consider that a meal or anything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless you had like 5 of them or something like that, and they're really cold. They freeze your brain.
Dude, he was so obsessed. Like the first vlog we ever did at Disneyland, I think you ate 6 or 8 of them that day.
I think the first year maybe 4 or 5, and the next year I went hard and had like 9. They were giving me free ones after a while.
Yeah, they're like, you're back. They're like, you could just have it. It was crazy.
Yeah. Joseph asked, one of our moderators, hey, Race Lover and Joseph. Joseph wants to know if they have vegan ice cream at Disney. And as far as I know...
do they?
Well, yes and no. Inside the classic parks, the Dole Whips are the best options. But at downtown Disney, let's talk about that.
Bro, salt and straw. Have you been craving it as much as we have?
Salt and straw, guys. Well, I mean, it's not only at Disneyland. They're a small chain. I think they're based mainly in the West Coast. Am I right on that, Lisa?
They're from Portland.
Yeah.
But they have
Portland. There's one in LA.
They're downtown Disney. I'd never even heard of them before, but we went in and checked it out, and they usually have several vegan flavors on hand. And man, what's that one we go crazy on?
Is it chocolate dandelion hazelnut? Is that what it is?
Dandelion chocolate hazelnut cookies and cream.
Okay.
It's the best.
I'm sorry if anyone's watching from Nadamu. I love you guys, but I really, really love Nadamu. I love you guys, but I think this one from Salt and Straw is my favorite. Is delicious.
Yeah, it blows away every other ice cream I've had. It's like so decadent and just like dense and chewy with so many things in it.
So if you don't know what downtown Disney is, it's right outside the park. There's no extra admission or anything like that. So you could stop in there before you go in the park or after, and they stay open after the park closes too. They're open really late, so you can always walk out and, as we usually do, get a couple pints. Yeah, they're not open now, obviously, but yeah, get a couple pints on the way out.
They'll probably open up before Disneyland opens. So just like, do you see this announcement from like 2 hours ago that Disney Springs in Orlando is opening on May 20th?
What is Disney Springs?
It's 20th. Yeah. Or was it 11th? Shanghai Disneyland is opening very soon. So the real park, Shanghai Disneyland, is opening, and then Disney Springs is opening in Orlando. Both of those are opening. One was May 11th and one's May 20th, but very soon both of those are going to open. So, but Walt Disney World, the parks aren't opening yet. So what's probably going to happen for us is that downtown Disney will open first, and then it'll be sometime after that the actual theme park opens.
Okay, that's what we had thought about. I mean, we could just jump into that, like, how we think that Disneyland will deal with this reopening and how we think things will roll out. We assumed too that downtown Disney, it's primarily a place to go to dine and then to shop for things, but there's so many restaurants down there, and because so many other restaurants are allowed to do takeout food, I've been wondering if downtown would start doing that as well. I think maybe they shut them down because so many people congregate in the common area between the restaurants. And
the tables weren't spaced out for social distancing anything like that. There'll probably be some modifications. But I like you, Lisa. I've been following the news, reading any announcements either coming from Disney. I saw the announcement, I think last week, from Florida's Orange County, talking about how they might reopen Orlando Disney World. So yeah, let's jump into that. What's your thoughts on when's this going to happen, how it might happen? There haven't been too many details yet, other than they're going to sanitize more and employees required to wear masks and take temperature checks when they come in. But yeah, what other details do we have, and what rational speculations can we add?
So I think that the app isn't taking any reservations. For example, if you want to make a dining reservation or a hotel reservation, I think the app isn't taking any until July 1st. So that would be the absolute earliest they could open. And then, but they push it back several times before, so it's not like that's when they're opening. They'll probably push it back. Who knows? Yeah. But they, when they do, we know what they're doing in Shanghai right now. They have the real capacity of Shanghai Disneyland is a little over 80,000 people per
Wow.
day. And they said it's going to be a reservation system. Like, you know how to get into Galaxy's Edge
Yeah.
at first you had to make a reservation?
Yeah.
It'll be like that for the whole park.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
so they said they're going to cap it at 24,000 people. So like a third of what they
Wow.
would normally let in for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to be lucky enough to, you just go on the website and then you got to be super lucky to book that day. Yeah, and then they'll have character interactions. No parades, no fireworks, and then no actual meet and greet with the characters. Like they said, you'll be able to interact with the characters in a new way, like
Wow.
wave at Mickey from behind a fence.
Maybe
I
so.
don't know.
Plexiglass.
Yeah.
And have we read how they're going to deal with the social distancing in lines? Because that's usually a social distancing nightmare. Like, are they going to have like spaced out marks on the floor, or make the lines
They
go
have
around
that
the park?
Shanghai.
Okay.
Wow.
How about I heard employees will be wearing face masks. Are they going to do that in Shanghai? I haven't heard anything about guests. What have you heard about guests?
Yeah, they had a shareholders meeting today, or the investors, and so a lot of this information was from the investors meeting that they released today, and they said that all cast members and all guests will be required to wear masks at all times except for when seated while dining.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm glad they made a statement on that. So yeah, it's good to see how it's happening elsewhere in the world. That'll be the model that gets used. They'll tweak it over time. Yeah. Anything else you want to ask about that?
Well, I'm just curious, like, how do you feel about going back?
Yeah.
Would you go back as soon as possible, or would you wait a little longer?
Yeah, good question.
Well, I don't want to. I want to go back, but also I feel like California is being very progressive. So I feel like California is already erring on the side of caution.
Mm-hmm.
So if Governor Newsom says that it's okay and Disneyland says it's okay, I feel like they have already erred on the side of caution for that. And so obviously I would like to wait for a vaccine, but we may never have a vaccine. They may not, like with the common cold doesn't have a we may not ever get one.
That's very true.
But obviously it would make everything safer if we had that first, but I don't think that we can count on that. I'll go back if Disneyland says it's safe, then I'll follow all the rules, and I trust them to know that it's safe, and trust the CDC if they're also telling us when it's safe. So.
Mm-hmm.
I also wondered, just tell me if you heard this in the meeting from the shareholder or investors meeting today, how they'll work out a finite amount of spots for guests to attend the park, 24,000. How will they divide that between people who want to show up and pay them $150 to get in for the day versus us pass holders?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. I don't think they've said specifically, but I think one thing that was said was that, so if you have an annual pass now, it will be either you can get a partial refund or it will be extended for the amount of days that Disneyland is closed.
Yeah.
But what happens if you, say it opens, we'll just say August 1st, right? And then between August 1st and November 1st is a reservation only period. And you try your best to get one of those days, but you're too slow and you never get one of those days.
Yeah.
But your pass has already started going again.
Yeah.
And then you didn't get to go because it's impossible to get through the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've heard is that they're not going to start your pass running again until after that reservation period is over.
Yeah, that makes sense. Either the reservation period, or maybe, or until your first trip back. One of the two seems more fair than the clock just starts ticking tomorrow or something like that.
That's so true.
Yeah, but it's like I paid for a pass that has certain blackout days, and I paid for the ability to go whenever I want. And then if I'm not getting the ability to go whenever I want, I feel like, So, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. But the question is, after 9/11, Disneyland had really bad attendance, and so it's not just a matter of whether the CDC says it's good, we're good to go, or the Governor Newsom says we're good to go. It's more like we may see capacity be lower just because people aren't motivated to go, like after 9/11.
Yeah, I imagine. Just like now, this today in California, they're starting to slowly reopen more retail, more businesses. And it doesn't mean that, people are instantly going to flock to them. And these are for curbside pickup only. So, you raise a good point. Just because something's open doesn't mean people psychologically are ready to go yet. So maybe it'll all kind of work itself out as far as like attendance being capped off. Yeah, are there hotels inside Disneyland? Good question. Yeah, Disney has a great hotel business too. So that was a mess for them, having to like cancel all these people's reservations and bookings to the park. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, the hotels were open for longer.
Oh, they did stay open for a little bit.
Yeah, just for like a week or two longer, just to like phase out the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine it'll probably be, I would imagine it'll be primarily locals that would go when Disney first starts to open back up, because it would just be too difficult to try to plan a trip from somewhere else with the less reservations available, and who knows what's going to be the hotel situation as well. It's definitely going to be a while till they get back up on their feet. I feel sorry for, like, there's so many people that are employed by the Disney park. It must have been so tough.
Yeah, we
laying
know
everyone off.
Like my friend who gets us the passes, he might not, all these people that work at the one here in California might not be going back to work. If I were a betting man till next year, what do you think about that? 2021? What do you think? Do you think we'll see it opening in 2020, Lisa?
No, there is some talk about, it's possible, like January 2021 is a possibility, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine like having Christmas come and go without Disneyland open. It was weird. It'll be just so weird to like leave. The last day, it was a spring day. The last day I was there, it was a spring day food and wine festival. And then to come back and Christmas is come and gone, and it'll be like almost spring again.
Yeah.
It'll be like, that's weird. It's like a time warp thing, because my whole life is measured according to like, when I look back at my life, it's all portioned out based on seasons at Disneyland.
Yeah, we're starting to relate to that. Well, I have one thing I'm really hoping for when they finally do reopen. I hope they will by then implemented the one vegan option everywhere, because they have time to work that out now.
Yeah. Yeah, like Lisa said, hopefully the chefs are still able to work on menus right now. Yeah, I know, it's funny. We didn't make it to the opening of the Food and Wine Festival, and we said we would see you like the following week, and then everything, went to hell in a basket. That was shut down, so I don't know. But maybe we will get to see it on our pass next year if this is really how things are going and it's not really going to open. On
a trippier turn about COVID-19 in Disneyland, I've been speculating that might be one of the places where I still don't know if I had caught it. I got a weird illness and mid-late February, lasted into early March. In fact, next week, Monday, I'm going to go get my antibody test. So we'll see what the results of that. So if I do come back positive, I'm speculating Disneyland might be one of the places, because a lot of international travelers, and there's no social distancing, lots of surfaces getting touched all day. So who knows? I know. How about you, Lisa? Yeah. You will go more than we do. Did you get any odd illnesses in February or March?
No, I haven't been sick in a while. But every time I do get sick, I feel like I was like, oh, I was at Disneyland. And, but I probably wasn't there all the time. But sometimes I feel like if I do some marathon days, if I go like 3 days in a row, I'll go like Friday, Saturday, Sunday for like 16 hours a day.
Wow.
And then I get sick after that, and I'm like, oh, well, obviously.
Yeah.
But I haven't been sick in a long time. I haven't been sick this whole semester since like last Thanksgiving probably. So
awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I know people who go back and forth to Asia and then come to Disneyland. It's pretty standard.
Very common, yeah.
So there were people in December and January going, in Disneyland who had just been in China the day before, right?
That's how it works nowadays with international travel. So I will find out next week if I got it. And for me, Disneyland or the gym are both good guesses. If so, it's probably I got it at Disneyland, then I probably took it with me to the gym. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of nice if you have it behind you. I mean, I don't know. I hope on some level I hope that you have the antibodies, because then you can don't have to worry about it.
Hopefully, I've been reading about the how likely is it that the antibodies offer some protection? The studies are still out on that. The best, most educated guess is, yeah, they should offer some, at least 9 months, maybe a couple years, like SARS does, because it's, you know, a form of SARS. But the World Health Organization cautions people that wait for the studies to come, because we just don't know yet. It's still way too early. But you're right. I'm kind of hoping it comes back positive, so I'll have that extra layer of protection. And, you know, Angie might have it too.
Yeah, I got really sick. I had like one really sick day, and then like some not feeling that great afterwards until it tapered off. So
Right after I got it, yeah, like a week after.
Yeah, right now there's no way for me to know what it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So let's see. A lot of times we started a topic and then you got all excited and we jumped out of it. Like, I'm not even sure if we finished talking about all our favorite things there.
Yeah, let's go back to favorite things, because there's so many good things. We talked about our favorite meals. Let's talk about our favorite drink, you know, non-solid foods at the parks.
Oh.
Because there's so many.
Mine would definitely be the Dole Whip float with the classic pineapple. Even though I know there's like a lot of new Dole Whip flavors available there now. Starting, this year was it, or was it last year?
They've come and gone like really unpredictably lately.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the Tropical Hideaway opened like 2 Christmases ago. It was December, not this most recent one, but one. So a little over a year, Tropical Hideaway has been open, and before that, it was only pineapple. And then they added the raspberry and orange, and then they took away the orange and added the mango and the lemon.
I need to try the mango. I had the lemon with you that day over in California Adventure.
Yeah.
Oh, that
I haven't
hot
had
day.
the mango yet.
They're so hot. By the time we got to a place to take pictures and have it, they're all melting.
I know. That was that really hot day we
Yeah.
were talking about.
What's your favorite beverage at the parks?
Well, I saw someone. I would never give up Dole Whip over like anything else, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But someone in the chat was asking earlier, will you make a copycat recipe of the black and white cake shake from Downtown Disney?
Wow, we haven't
And that's
had that.
another one of those things like, is it a drink or a meal? Or I mean, it's dessert, obviously, but it's not. But you can't just eat a whole meal and then expect to eat a whole one of those.
Yeah.
After that, right? So in a sense, it's a meal, but it's also a drink and also dessert.
Is that the one that has the
made-
like cake sitting on top of it? I think I saw a picture of it. How do you consume that beverage?
You put a plate underneath so that you can catch all of everything that falls off. So you get like a bigger plate than they would give you, and then you start just have a few bites of the cake first. And then on my YouTube channel, there's a video of me trying to do this and getting it everywhere.
Oh, I guess I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, there's a video of the first day it came out, and I'm there with my friend Jeffrey, and we're just eating. We ended up with 2 of them. We were gonna just share one, but then like the seating was like we were confused about whether we were gonna be able to sit together. And then he was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna get my own." And then he came over. Anyway, then we had 2 of them.
Whoa.
And then so we just like take with a fork, start eating the cake for a little bit. And then you can either transfer the cake to another plate, or you can let the cake fall in. And then you can just keep using the spoon to like scoop out. Like it's like an ice cream, like a root beer float with the ice cream in the middle, but there's cake in it instead of ice cream because it's a milkshake, and that's already ice cream.
Whoa, that just sounds so filling and decadent.
It's huge.
Super
And it's a big piece of cake too, yeah. And there's frosting on the side, so the whole cup is like covered with frosting, like halfway down the cup, and then there's a bunch of chocolate chips on the frosting.
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
So you can like scrape the sides with a spoon.
That is nuts. That's like a lot.
I see that Kika just today made the Dole Whip from the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook.
Oh, yeah, I made the most healthiest iteration of a Dole Whip float just using frozen bananas.
Oh my God, really?
Frozen, years ago. Like, what do you think? Maybe 2014 or 15 I did the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, just frozen bananas, frozen pineapple, like a little vanilla, and that's like, I think that's pretty much it, really, but it tastes so freaking good. And then when you float that into a glass of just fresh pineapple juice, it's so refreshing.
I see.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have to look. I need to look at that because I have your book.
Wait, I feel like you did a Dole Whip.
I did a
iteration
blue
as well.
milk. I wanted to actually. I was planning on doing a Dole Whip this week, but I wanted to look now that I want to look at yours too. But I basically Disneyland maybe 2 weeks ago or something. Disneyland said, "Hey, you guys, we're releasing the official Dole Whip recipe. Here it is." And then it's really not it was vanilla ice cream and frozen pineapple and pineapple juice, which is fine. You can make it at home.
Yeah.
That's a thing that you can make at home, but that's not. You can go on the Dole website and read the real ingredients of a Dole Whip, and it is not ice cream. It is not. It's stuff that you can't get at the grocery store. But I was gonna just make a vegan version of that, where I just do vegan vanilla ice cream and then frozen pineapple, and then pineapple juice, which is super simple.
Yeah.
Just the vegan version of that recipe they released,
Absolutely. Yeah, a bunch of people actually messaged me with that, and I was like, I'm good. I've got my own recipe.
I want to answer a question from 80s Warrior because he left a really awesome super chat tip here, and thank you.
Oh, wow. He wants
thank
to
you
get our
so
attention.
much. And I see your question here. It's a little off topic, but it's what we were talking about a few moments ago. So I see why you asked 80s Warrior. I want to know, it's for me, can I reference any studies to substantiate social distancing? You haven't found any, and all this is founded on recommendation, not actually any facts. That I can't be. If you guys don't know, I'm following virologists, epidemiologists, immunologists, and medical doctors on Twitter. So I'm reading a lot of the studies that they're going through right now, because a lot of stuff's coming out really quickly right now. They're intentionally avoiding the peer review process. So they're not avoiding it, but they're not holding back. They want to get the information out there. And right now they'll get peer reviewed later. But I'm trying to say is I don't recall any study on that. I think that information, that the concept of social distancing, predates COVID-19 or coronavirus. And I think it's just a standard practice to avoid the transmission of airborne pathogens like this. So if you want to, 80s War, if you can contact me off any of my social media, send me a private message on Twitter. And I thought I saw Race Lover put a message down with my, to my profile on Twitter. Or maybe if you don't have Twitter or you can't get through on there, just contact me on our site, happyhealthyvegan.org. And I'll go through my feed and see if I can find any information from these people that I follow. But it's just a basic concept that maybe you've seen these videos where they, in slow motion, how if someone coughs, they can trace the vapor trail, and it goes out quite far. So I think people are just agreeing that 6 feet's a good minimum. I mean,
yeah, I heard it goes far.
Yeah, if you're shouting, screaming, singing, it goes further. If you're running, it could go further. So that's just the whole concept, to try to maintain some distance for these airborne transmissions, to try to prevent them. So hopefully I answered your question, but if you want me to try to find some studies, I'm interested too. That's a really good question. Contact me and I will see if I can dig something up for you. And I forgot to answer what was my favorite drink. And you guys pretty much know I'm the Dole Whip maniac, right? I mean, so of course Dole Whips, and I'm stoked you can get them all over the park now, even downtown Disney, even in the Disneyland Hotel. I was surprised to find them in that cool tropical bar thing.
So you consider the frozen Dole Whip to be a beverage?
It's kind of in that gray area, Is it a beverage? It's not a meal, really.
Yeah.
But I want to say, that being said, as much as I love Dole Whips, over in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, what's that called? The green and blue milk?
The blue milk was your favorite. Yeah. That's your favorite too, right, Lisa? The blue.
So good.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite. I like them both. They're uniquely different. And people going, it's milk. No, it's not milk. I always like to say, hey, this is outer space. They don't have cows in outer space. This is some kind of plant. It is. What kind of milk base is that, Lisa?
Bantha.
It's what?
Bantha. They're banthas. That's where the milk is supposed to come from. They're sort of what do they look? They look like sort of woolly mammoth type creatures.
Oh, okay.
They have long brown hair, and they're like big rectangle. You see people riding them on Tatooine. They live there.
So in concept, it's not vegan, but in the way they make it, it's is it coconut or what is the?
Yeah, it's a coconut
almond or
milk.
Almond.
No, it's coconut and something
and
else.
Rice milk.
Oh, okay. So those are delicious, guys. If you get over to Star Wars Land, these milks are totally delicious. They're on the same quality as Dole Whips. It's like the Dole Whip of the future.
So how do you think that your version of it compared to the original?
The blue milk.
Yeah. Did you get close?
Yeah. I think it's pretty close. The thing is, it tastes like a pina colada, right? It's very strong pineapple and coconut flavor, so I definitely hit those in the recipe. But it's also a dragon fruit flavor, and when I was at the grocery store, I look at the dragon fruit. It's bright pink, right? You
Yeah.
can get frozen dragon fruit for like smoothies, and it's bright pink. And I'm not gonna, if you put it in the blue milk, it would totally ruin the color. You know? So, but there is like also white dragon fruit.
True.
I've seen like, yeah. So if you had access, but I've only seen pictures that like, you'd have to be pretty lucky to find white dragon fruit in the store, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I actually have some dragon fruit powder, but it's the pink kind. Yeah.
Yeah. So I left that out, and it just that's the one flavor that is where it would be more spot on if it had dragon fruit flavor in it. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be able to find it myself right now, and even under normal circumstances, like it's just really, maybe I could have looked for a white dragon fruit powder online or something.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, it really tastes like pineapple and coconut are the main flavors. So, and it's the right color, and so I think it's like 95% there.
That's awesome. Well, we'll have to do some slick Googling afterwards and see if we can find any white dragon fruit powder or something online.
I have another favorite food idea.
What?
There's so many options. Downtown Disney.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that
we
too.
We were talking about downtown Disney earlier. Like I said, it's outside the park. In fact, if you don't have a Disneyland pass, you don't want to pay the admission to go to Disneyland, you still can go to downtown Disney for free.
And have a great time.
It's cool. It's the security checkpoint for the entire park. So once you're in there, you feel like you're in the park. You're safe. The music, all the magic of Disney's happening.
Yeah, and fun decorations.
Yeah, they decorate it just like the park. In the autumn, they have the pumpkins and stuff and all that. So you get the Disney vibe.
Live bands.
So there's a lot of good food and a lot of good vegan food to be found in downtown Disney. Let's get some of our favorites out. You want to start, Lisa, or you want to think about it some more?
Oh, I have a lot of favorites in downtown Disney. Let me think. The first one that came to mind is the Nashville hot sandwich at Black Tap, the same place that has the black and white cake shake.
Wow.
They also have
not done that yet.
Oh yeah. They it's relatively new. Maybe the last 6 months they've had this. It's a portobello mushroom, it makes a sandwich itself, but it doesn't even really matter that it's a mushroom in there because it's breaded and it's like super hot Nashville sauce.
Wow.
And it's like and it has like a coleslaw on top and pickles, and it makes my nose run, and I need a lot of napkins.
It's that spicy?
I love spicy. Things are never really spicy enough for me. And this one is like, it takes me to the edge.
Wow.
It is like, it is a whole experience. It takes me to another dimension.
Whoa.
It's amazing.
I'm super scared. Yeah, I've seen that restaurant many times, and I think that's where I actually saw the picture of that crazy shake, and I was like, whoa, I'm intimidated. I don't know if I have that much appetite right now. But yeah, we've never been in there yet. It's that big. It looks very kind of hipstery, is how I would describe it.
Yeah, it's after where we usually go. It's still on that left side, right? We're walking in.
It's right across from the water fountain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's by let's see. I mean, there's a circular area where Uva Bar is, where that bar in the circular area. Yeah, and it's on one of those sites where the Build-A-Bear used to be.
Oh, that's what it took over. Okay.
I'm curious, what's your favorite? We've only been to a few places in downtown Disney.
I know. We usually don't eat that much there because we're trying to save it for later. So a lot of times we'll get a pint of that of the salt and straw ice cream to go. So we'd enjoy it the next day. I don't know, the thing that I find myself craving, we're so basic. I've just been craving, thing, huh? I've been craving the tableside guacamole. Yes. You have too?
At Tortilla Joe's.
Oh my God, we split an order of the guacamole and chips, and it's we can eat it all. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I haven't put tons of lime in it.
Yeah, they bring, the server brings, rolls their cart out, and they make your guacamole to your specification. You tell them to put more lime in or what you want, and the avocados are good quality. Yeah, that's fun.
I don't think we told them the name of it. Is it
Tortilla Joe's? Yeah.
Tortilla Joe's. They actually have a really good burrito there too. The burrito plate is super good with the cilantro rice. I mean, I could go for one of those right now.
And I should mention, too, if you have any kind of table sit-down dinner at downtown Disney, they will validate your parking for 5 hours. So that's one way we go to Disneyland.
Yeah, definitely.
Save a little bit, yeah.
We only tried, I think, 2 of the new vegan options at, I forget the name of the little...
the Asian
place? It kind of looks like a truck or something.
You know that place, Lisa, right? Kind of right? You come in, it's the first place on the left. What is that place?
It's called Asian Street Eats.
Asian Street Eats. Yeah, we tried two of the three things. I don't think we tried the pancakes yet, which everyone seems to think is the best thing.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite. The scallion pancake wrap with tofu. Yeah, that's my favorite thing from there. Yeah, it's interesting because Rainforest Cafe is right there, and why would they build that little stand in front of it if they had plans to reopen it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Rainforest Cafe is ever going to open again.
That's sad. I wonder what's going on with the actual building. It's like just
I mean, it's kind of a long story, but they wanted to build another hotel there.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't come to an agreement with the city. It was complicated, and then they the plans were, thrown out, and then they were. I think they started to demolish the inside of Rainforest Cafe. Like they couldn't just start it up again. They would have to do a lot to get Rainforest Cafe where it was before on the inside.
Okay.
Maybe they will do that because. I mean, what else are they going to do? They're going to demolish the outside of the building as well. I mean, it would be expensive to fix the inside of Rainforest Cafe, but it would be more expensive to start over completely, right?
Yeah, and the Asian Street Eats, even though it looks, it's a solid little building, it's really cute. It has a temporary quality about it. It looks like they could just move it somewhere else.
This shows you how.
Yeah, but it's good.
There's just so much good vegan food all over the place here. It's like you're telling us where your favorite is in downtown Disney. We've never even been there yet. We haven't tried all the options, the vegan street eats. It just shows you this is just downtown Disney. We haven't hit it all. And then there's the whole park. It's just, I'm serious. It's this crazy good place for vegan eating. I can't think of anything quite like it.
We tried to eat a lot of the items in one day to vlog, but I mean, you would need to go several days in a row, I think, to really try everything. Or, only go with a bunch of people and just have a few bites.
That's why I compare it, in my mind at least, to a vegan festival. Same thing. You just can't hit up all the different food vendors. There's just no way. Even if you tried, your stomach just isn't big enough.
I think that was the last time we went there, we actually were able to get a piece of the vegan banana bread that you mentioned at the, what is La Brea Bakery?
Oh, yeah, that was really good, too. Thanks for that tip, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I was like, oh, man, I hope they'll get more options. And then, they closed down. But I was wondering, maybe that was their, we've got our one vegan option. We're handled.
Yeah.
I have a favorite.
Yeah, well, downtown Disney doesn't have to follow the rules. I mean, when Disney says this is our commitment to plant-based options, they really only mean, I mean, the resort as a whole, but downtown Disney, those restaurants belong to themselves. They don't really, they don't have to do what Disney says, really.
Oh, okay.
So,
but that said, they're doing
for example,
good.
they don't take, not all of them take discounts, the annual pass discounts, right? Some do and some don't. So it's they're still independent to some degrees. So I don't think that they would be required to all get plant-based options the way that the rest of the park proper is.
Even if they don't in downtown Disney, most of them do already, so they're already looking pretty good. But yeah, you're right. The one vegan option everywhere, it doesn't necessarily apply. Someone asked a really good question for us, favorites. We're talking about favorite foods and stuff. How about the obvious favorite rides?
Oh, yeah, I know. We haven't said anything about the rides.
There's actually rides at Disneyland too, guys. I know we haven't said jack about rides yet, huh?
That's not even why we got the pass, guys. We got it for the food.
Yeah, usually we just go and eat all day, and we'll go on maybe one or two rides, seriously. And we're just going around eating the whole time. I think Lisa's kind of like that too, huh?
Yeah. I like the shows a lot too. I prioritize live shows over rides.
Well, let's do rides. Everyone can relate to rides. Let's drag out reveal our favorite rides. I'll start off. You guys are thinking mine, hands down, no questions asked. Small World. I'm a Small World nut. I have the Small World shirt. I noticed that Kika remembered to have the I Conquered Small World T-shirt.
Yeah, we got that for your birthday.
Proud about that shirt. Yeah, I conquered Small World. I like slow rides, but a Small World's the ultimate slow ride. It was built in the 60s. It's so psychedelic in 60s and beautiful, and it just has the most simple yet beautiful message, one that transcends cultures, transcends time. It's the perfect message for us right now. It's a small world after all. Let's all get along and be excellent to each other.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Yes.
How do you feel about the Christmas iteration of Small World versus the classic?
Yeah, good question. Because to me, Small World is perfection. And then when Disney did a few updates over the years, added the Little Mermaid and,
that's true too.
And Toy Story bits, I see what they're doing, and I'm glad they are very tasteful. They just did it as unintrusively as possible, so I'm okay with that, you know. But yeah, the Christmas thing, I appreciate it, but then once I'm done with it, I go, I wish it was just Small World, you know. I'm not mad when I'm on the Christmas version of it.
No, you're never mad when you're on the ride.
Yeah, I always feel happy. I feel like a better person once I get off that ride, because it's like it's slow and it's long. It's one of the longest rides there. So it's like this spiritual experience unfolding in slow motion, and it's this meditation of peace and love and compassion. When you get off, it's like, yeah. You know, it's like how I feel after like sometimes being in like a Buddhist temple.
Oh my gosh. How about this? How do you feel about going on it during daylight versus after dark?
There's something really magical about going there around sunset and the lights come on. It's very beautiful. But then in the daytime, you can see all the stuff too. There's something really magical about going on Small World at night during the Christmas.
Right.
Because you put all the Christmas lights on it. It looks really cool.
You do like the Christmas one.
I like the outdoors of Christmas, yeah. So that's me. I'm a Small World freak, yeah.
You pretty much are. Yeah, for me.
That's my sister's favorite ride too.
Good taste.
Awesome. You know, I kind of I have a soft spot in my heart for the Alice in Wonderland ride, but lately, if we're talking about both parks, my favorite really has been God, what do they call that?
The Midway shooting.
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
What's that ride called?
The Pixar.
Toy Story Midway Mania.
Yeah.
Okay, I never
Mania,
remember the
that's
name.
the other word.
Yeah,
that ride is so freaking fun.
You put on 3D glasses and you shoot. It's like a video game, a 3D video game basically, but you're moving on a movie. It's like a slow ride, but you're shooting things.
Pretty much. It's like little targets. You're not it's not like you're shooting people. You're shooting like barrels and balloons,
fun, yeah.
and you're trying to get the 1,000-point ones, and I always think I'm gonna win, and then somehow you pull out a win at the end.
It's
like,
weird
every time.
I'm not even trying. It's just
is.
weird luck. My luck's gonna run out.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fun. That's when we go to California Adventure Park. We're always looking to go to
I'm obsessed.
What's yours, Lisa?
Storybook Land in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
The whale?
Yeah, with the way going in Montreal. And the thing is it's an opening day attraction, so there aren't very many opening day attractions left. And there aren't very many opening day attractions that I feel like that are still so rideable, you know? Like Autopia is an opening day attraction. It's changed a lot over the years, but Autopia is technically an opening day attraction. And I ride Autopia and I'm just like, ooh, this doesn't hold up.
It's so stinky.
Yeah. They got to go electric, you know, get some Tesla batteries.
Yeah. But Storybook Land has the miniatures. I just love miniatures. I'm not really a collector, so I don't have a bunch of miniatures, but I just love looking at tiny things, tiny houses, tiny spoons. And then at Christmas time, they actually put the tiny Christmas trees with the tiny lights.
Oh, God.
So good.
Okay.
And I love how they tell you the story, and it's so relaxing, and it's just
the songs.
It's like an ASMR video.
Yeah, it is.
So true. Yeah. I like to go to that one after dark so you can see all the lights for sure. Like you have to go in the evening or maybe the last ride. I turned you onto that ride, right?
I've gone on it before. I like it. It's a slow ride. I like slow rides.
Like, we have to go on this ride.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to the Tiki Room, too.
Well, yeah.
The ultimate slow ride.
Because it's connected to Dole Whip. So. Plus the Hawaii video.
All the Hawaiian stuff, and the singing birds. I love that. You should see. I feel like I'm like a 5-year-old kid when I go in the Tiki Room. My eyes light up. I'm singing all the songs.
It's a little bit problematic as a vegan because of the way they decorate. You know,
what?
The birds have feathers, like actual feathers on them. So I always feel guilty. I feel guilty when I go in there.
Yeah, that karma was paid in the 50s.
I think about that every time I'm in the Tiki Room.
I know.
Yeah.
How do you know?
It's from 1963, right?
Yeah.
Those are not all the same feathers from. I'm sure that they replace the feathers. I'm sure that every ride gets refurbished. Every ride gets new coats of paint. Every ride gets new stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're putting new feathers in. But lots of those rides have every ride vehicle I'm sure has animal parts in it. All the tires, every ride vehicle with tires on it, or there's leather and a bunch of these things. Like you can go in Frontierland, leather is everywhere, and I'm sure it's getting replaced all the time.
Hopefully vegan leather. Yeah, there's vegan
Yeah,
leather now.
they need to switch to that.
Yeah, and vegan feathers and
I know
stuff
there's
like
gotta
that.
be some.
Yeah, I see effervescent bubbles wishing there was a vegan amusement park. We do too,
Whoa.
but as far as vegan food goes, Disneyland in my mind is a vegan amusement park, even though it's not all vegan, obviously. But so there's so many vegan options there. You'd have to spend like 3 days eating all morning, noon, and night to hit up all the places.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I have to admit, speaking of vegan eating and the different parts of the park, like once we got tuned into what was going on at Galaxy's Edge, we started finding ourselves wanting to go there for dinner like more often than anywhere else in the park. First of all, it's a great place to see sunset. I love the way that the sun sets over the little fake mountains and
rocks.
everything. Yeah, it looks so pretty. And I think we did try the Rondo's wrap one of the last times we went, but I think I still prefer the one in the docking bay a little bit more.
Yeah.
With the hummus. And
yeah.
And then like we order an extra side of the pita bread, and you can still get the mashed potatoes, the veggie mashed potatoes that they used to have with the dinner option. So we'll get a side of that, and then we're able to split it, and it's kind of like fluffed out having the extra bread and the potatoes. Super good.
I have another favorites thing. What's our favorite naughty food there? Something like whoa, I shouldn't be eating that. Mine.
I think I mostly.
You got one? Okay, go, Lisa.
Well, I think that the Felucian Garden spread you just mentioned is like really quite healthy. I mean, the hummus and
it's really good. Yeah.
Right? There are a few, but I would say most of the things I eat at Disneyland are like not very clean.
Yeah.
But I just it's like whatever. When I'm at home, I just eat a giant salad with kale and chickpeas and lemon juice on top.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, when I'm at home, I'm like clean.
Whole Foods.
And then when I go to Disneyland, it's the black and white cake shake,
Wow. Yeah, that's probably the naughtiest thing that's even at the park, right? That's crazy.
That's a good one.
You have your cake and eat it
That's
too,
a good
along
one.
with your show.
That's a good naughty food for sure. What's your favorite naughty food?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I do really like the popcorn too over there at
Ronto. I mean, in Star Wars.
Yeah, the chocolate popcorn is really good. I mean, compared to most people's standards, it's probably not that naughty, honestly.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
But yeah, for us who like clean, whole food eating.
Yeah, trying to think. I feel like a lot of times we get full on our savory items and we don't get around to that many desserts.
Well, Donnie doesn't have to be a dessert,
Oh.
You could just be like something like you wouldn't normally choose that, but you kind of like it.
Like I really never eat burgers, so I haven't really tried. I don't know if I've tried any of the burgers really at any of the Disneyland parks, aside from we did get that jackfruit sandwich. That's not a burger either. Probably the naughtiest. I mean, that when they used to have the vegan meatloaf with the mashed potatoes and gravy. To me, I consider that naughty.
That's
because,
not too naughty.
But it's not even, because it came with like roasted vegetables and mashed potatoes and mushroom gravy.
Person,
it's not even that naughty.
For most of our non-vegan friends, that'd be the healthiest thing they'd eat all week. It's all relative, But I guess for me, my favorite naughty thing, and it's again not that naughty, it's all relative, is in California Adventure Park, award wieners.
Oh, I know. Those are so good.
Those hot dog wieners are really surprisingly good. I think you encouraged us to check it out. I'm not a big fan of hot dogs, but I tried it. It's amazingly delicious. Like, what are those things made out of again, Lisa? I totally forgot.
There's a field roast Frankfurter dogs, yeah. And then they put the grilled onions and mushrooms and bell peppers on top, and then it has a cream like a mustard cream on top. I just made that last week for the Copycat recipe.
Oh, well, maybe we'll have to
quarantine with Lisa.
Yeah. What'd you do for the bun? Because I know they have that specialty bun there.
Yeah, that was like probably the most research I put into that recipe was like learning about the New England style hot dog bun. This is the style of hot dog bun, right? And so it's defined by its open sides. So they're cooked, they're baked all close together so that you can pull them apart. Like dinner rolls, you pull apart and there's like the side, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a pan, a special New England style hot dog pan where it's like this long pan and it has little ridges on the bottom and then you like bake them that way. But I just did it with a regular baking dish and it worked out fine. And I baked them like just close enough where they would have the side, but not so close that they became one big blob.
That's awesome.
And so then and then you grill it. You cut it down the side where the open sides are, where they were touching, and then you put it on. I was just grilling the field roast Frankfurter, and then I put the sides on, with the oil there, and it takes the hot dog to like the next level when the sides are grilled. It's like so good.
Oh, that's good. So it sounds like it was a total success.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I never made hot dog buns from scratch before, but it, makes a difference.
Also, when you get the Ward Wiener, that's where the loaded vegan fries are too, right?
I've only had just the plain film strip fries, which are so good.
Oh, that's
by
what
the
they're
way.
called.
That film strip fry is like so yummy. It's got like that extra potatoey flavor.
1-2 punch of the hot dog and those fries. It's really, really good as far as naughty food goes.
Can you order those loaded style?
That was before they introduced the field roast dog, the plant-based Philly dog is what it's called. That was the only vegan option. That was like the hack version, because there was no real vegan option. So you would say, "Can I have a bed of fries with the grilled veggies on top?"
Oh.
And they would say, "Sure," because that's all we have for you, vegan, right?
Yeah.
And then since they introduced the plant-based Philly dog, they're a little less willing to do that.
Oh.
I've heard mixed reports. I haven't tried it since that, but some people say that I just ordered it like I did before. I was, did it the same way. But now other people say like, no, they won't do it for me anymore. They're like, we got a vegan option now, so take that.
I see.
So,
seems like it would be nice to have it with vegetables and then some of that sauce on top. That would be pretty good. Did
we get Lisa's favorite ride? I can't recall.
Yes, she likes the storybook.
That's right, Storybook Land.
Which is super cute. I love that ride.
How about favorite just Disney character? It doesn't have to be one who walks around as a cast member. It could be who's our favorite Disney characters.
All right, let Lisa go first.
Anna and Elsa. If I have to choose one, Elsa.
Yeah. Well, you have a tattoo and everything, right?
I do.
Yeah. Who's Elsa? What's she from?
From Frozen.
Frozen. Okay, I don't know all this stuff, guys. I just go and eat the food.
I know. He literally doesn't know anything about any recent Disney.
No. I kind of, after like the 70s, I'm kind of like not that. I kind of know Toy Story a little bit, but yeah. I want to see Cars, though.
I know. We really should see Cars.
Yeah.
I can't believe it took us so long to go on like the epic Cars ride, by the way.
Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character? Oh, it's probably Snow White, I guess. Well, I don't know. I mean, their version of Alice in Wonderland is also pretty cool.
Yeah, huh?
But I have a thing for their version of Snow White.
Mine's probably Pooh.
Pooh. I love Pooh, and I love meeting Pooh and getting my picture
between
with
Pooh and Chewbacca.
I know, it's weird to say that Chewbacca is now a Disney character.
I know.
But then, I mean, they took over all those other characters that existed before Disney, so I guess it's not that weird.
There's a good question from Joseph. What do you think Disney will be like 10 years from now?
Oh.
Wow.
I don't know.
I have no idea either. Well, they'll definitely have the one vegan option everywhere in place by then.
One would think.
Yeah, one would think.
Yeah, I hope that. I mean, I hope that everything is so different, and I don't know. Like, part of me says that we're going to have a vegan world by the end of my lifetime, and part of me says climate change is going to kill us all, and we're all going to starve.
Yeah, right. I know.
We're all,
Yeah, that's why
it's going to be one of those, too.
That's why we're working hard to spread the message about eating plants, its effect on greenhouse gas emissions, on climate change, and you don't have to kill animals to live. It's a win for your health. It's just a huge win. So hopefully more people are getting turned on to that message. What'd you see there? Angie's busting up here. What'd you see?
Excuse me, surely Jar Jar is everyone's favorite.
Jar Jar, yeah.
Jar Jar. Don't start.
There's no Jar Jar represented at all. Is there? I don't remember any Jar Jar.
Is Jar Jar in the new ride? Because he wasn't on any of the other things.
He's not. He's in Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities in Galaxy's Edge. In the shop, like the nicer gift shop, like the indoor gift shop. If you look up by the that second level where there's all those knickknacks, there is like a gold-plated Jar Jar bust.
I think I did see that, but he doesn't actually get to
walk around.
Have a character that walks around and interfaces with people.
They should. People would trip.
Actually, maybe.
There's Star Tours in Tomorrowland. There are lots of different versions of Star Tours, and over the years there have been different scenes, like dozens of different scenes, and I think I've seen all of them, but I couldn't say for certain whether Jar Jar doesn't appear in one of those Star Tours scenes.
Interesting.
Cool. I see Bauhaus Cure says, my boyfriend and I are vegan and want to move to Anaheim next year. Going to vote vegan with our wallets all over Disney. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's what I feel too. Every time we go and buy a vegan whatever, there at all the different places, we're telling them, keep getting more vegan food, keep ordering more. People want it.
Well, dude, honestly, Lisa has done so much footwork for all of us. I think you continually going in and asking to talk to the chefs and demanding to see the ingredient list and asking what, all the recipes entail. I'm sure that applied some kind of heat to them, thinking like, okay, we got to really get our vegan game on point here.
I try to be like as polite as possible because I want to be the face of vegans. I want them to think like, oh, that vegan, well, that was a nice person, that vegan, right? I don't want me to walk away and then be like, oh, what a bitch, So I try to be super nice, but also I really want the right information. So I'll press a little bit, like I'll press as much as I think I can, and then I'll go back the next day and see if I get someone else and see if I can get better information sometimes. But I try to, I think that like just making the options visible, like getting as many people to see what the vegan food is. And then, I was maybe a little pushier, but then all these other people get to just go up and order it with the one modification or whatever they need to do. And it saves all these other people from having to ask the same questions over and over. Yeah. And then overall, I feel like it makes it, because especially when I first went vegan, I was afraid to ask questions in restaurants. And I would just like, when I was kind of wishy-washy and I was like, I guess I'm vegetarian, having this hurdle of not knowing how to ask for something would have just made me go for the vegetarian option instead of really going for the vegan option,
I think that's probably true for a lot of people. Yeah, and that was one of the reasons we loved just looking on your, blog, because then we were like, okay, we'll just go with what she says is vegan rather than having to mess around.
And ask 100 questions.
It does take time.
They pull the chef out. It takes forever.
But then you also warn us ahead of time. Like, I remember when you said earlier this year that suddenly they had non-vegan beans at one of the restaurants that always has vegan. So the next time we went, we asked, we're like, the beans are vegan this time, right? No lard. And they're like, they knew exactly what we were asking.
So it was just like one day we were out or something like that. So we didn't have the normal beans. So yeah, it never hurts to ask a few questions for sure.
Yeah. So you kind of let people know. What's up?
Yeah, things change so rapidly. So whenever I hear someone, and like I have friends who are cast members, and so they'll message me, or just regular guests will say this is what they told me, and so then I try to like keep that all.
You'll go and check updated. It out. You will investigate it within a day or two and update your website, which is awesome. Something
different, I'll go like the next day. Depending on what it is, I'll go the next day and check, and just so I can, or I'll message a cast member and be like, should I come check or what is it?
I saw an interesting question from Travis a few minutes ago. Best vegan restaurant near Disneyland, not counting downtown Disney.
Oh yeah, I mean, I made a whole blog post out of this. Right after Disneyland closed, I was like, all right, we're all getting takeout now, and I made this like super long blog post of all the vegan restaurants or vegan friendly restaurants within 15 miles of Disneyland, and like the comprehensive thing. So hopefully that'll be useful to people. Nobody's traveling. It's sort of these recommendations are useful for people who are from out of town and they've never heard of vegan pizza. They never heard of Loving Hut. They've never heard of Healthy Junk, right? And so hopefully that will still be useful when people start visiting again. But for now, I mean, but if you live in Orange County, if you're a vegan in Orange County, you know about Healthy Junk, right?
Yeah, we haven't been there. Is that where you had the like fried vegan chicken shortly before Disneyland closed down?
I was going to say, I just put the link to Lisa's website in the chat, so you can find, that's where you did your blog post, right, about vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants near Disneyland, so people can check that out. Because that's a good thing, though. Sometimes you're done with Disneyland and you want to go eat somewhere else, or you've already left the parking lot or whatever.
Yeah, and Healthy Junk is there's the yearly vegan festival that's put on by them, right? Which somehow we haven't made it to that yet. I think it's in a hot part of the year.
So, what is your favorite? Well, you made the blog post about giving a survey. What's our favorites?
Oh, it's so hard. I think my top two. I love Healthy Junk too, but I think my top two are Kensho. It's all vegan sushi place.
Yeah,
Kensho.
It's our well, I don't know, friend is a strong word.
We haven't been to that one yet.
I know. We haven't been.
Yeah.
And Inner Peace Cafe is like an Asian fusion, more more Vietnamese, but they also have like some Thai food.
That sounds really good.
It's really good. I love like a giant soup, like pho or the different types of Vietnamese soups.
Yeah.
And it's just so I just love a giant bowl of soup. So that's why I love Inner Peace Cafes.
Yeah,
those are my top two.
And that area of Orange County has a very strong Southeast Asian presence. Yeah, Vietnamese, Thai, and there's some really great restaurants around there. One of our favorite restaurants, the original A Loc, not the one in downtown LA, the original one is in Fountain Valley, maybe like 10 minutes from Disneyland. That's probably in your blog post too. That'd be my favorite one in the area.
Oh my gosh.
How about you? Do you have a favorite in the area?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, honestly, we started eating so much at Disneyland, we haven't necessarily checked out all the recent things that are in the Anaheim area. Oh, I'm starting to get hungry thinking about these things.
I know. I want to go eat some, like what you just said, like that Asian fusion. I want to go to A Loc right now, but we can't.
Yeah, I went to A Loc a couple months ago, and I got a giant soup. It was so good.
Yeah. Which one did you get?
It was like I think it was the royal noodle soup.
Oh,
yeah. I like soup with noodles in them are my favorite thing.
That's a good question. This will affect us. I've seen it twice now in that area there around Disneyland near there. Ramen? Any vegan ramen to be found?
Yeah, there's Huntington Ramen. I've actually never been there, but I hear really amazing things about Huntington Ramen. And I don't think they're all vegan, but they have a whole like vegan section of their menu.
Nice.
But where I have got really good ramen is at Hironori in Irvine.
Okay.
And it's also not all vegan. It's but they have their like one. They have they have like one vegan one, but you can customize it. So you get like the vegan ramen base, and then you put all whatever toppings and stuff you want in it. And it was like ridiculously good. But the problem with Hironori is that it's like the most popular restaurant in Orange County. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like you see swarms of people out front, and then you walk up on like a Wednesday at 6 p.m. and they're like, yeah, the wait's an hour and a half, and everybody's just standing out there waiting. Everybody's happy to wait an hour and a half because this place is like has like this huge cult following. So
yeah, well, we have one in Long Beach.
Yeah, there's two. One in Irvine, one in Long Beach.
Yeah, and we went on my birthday like 2 years ago. It was like raining on my birthday, and then it started to kind of like the rain started to like kind of abate. So we went on and we tried to do the RSVP through Yelp, but it turns out like that just puts you like on. It wasn't really a real RSVP. It like starts to put you on the list. So then there's like all these people waiting in like this little antechamber waiting room, and it's pretty crazy to get in there, but I don't think we've ever waited an hour or an hour and a half.
Yeah, we'll have to check out the
Irvine.
Irvine
It's been like maybe a half hour.
Yeah, I think
it's a really small spot here
tiny.
in Long Beach. Yeah,
but there's another
super good
example of great Asian food you could find in this area. Just all through California for that matter. But Orange County has a great, even though Long Beach not Orange County, Orange County has so much great vegan Asian food to be found.
Yeah, so they do have the one vegan option on the ramen, and then like we saw that they had bao and they just had pork bao, and we're like, why don't you use this, like do a version with tofu the way that you have the tofu in the ramen? Why can't you also put that in the baos? And it's like, think about it.
I've lobbied it, but I don't think they're too busy. They're too successful to stop and think about us vegans.
I guess it's kind of amazing they even have a vegan broth there.
It is. We'll just have gratitude for that.
Yeah. Pretty stoked. God, I haven't even thought to see if they were doing takeout.
Oh, yeah, probably, huh? Have you been doing much takeout over the past month and a half or so?
I went to Vegan by Victoria's, the pan dulce place, the bakery in Santa Ana, and there's one in LA too. Do you know that place?
It's one of our favorites.
Yeah, Irvin,
But we celebrated your birthday there 2 years ago, and he brought a birthday cake for my birthday.
Oh, cool. I'm glad they're open and doing takeout, I assume.
I've been tempted.
Yeah. So they're open on Fridays and Saturdays, but you place an order on the website throughout the week up until Thursday, and then you can pick up on Friday and Saturday, maybe Sunday as well, to look. But on the weekends, you can pick it up, and you can also come in the front and buy pastries without having ordered online. You just need a mask to go in. So you can, I did the pre-order online, and then I just went, and you just pull up to the back, and you like call them from inside your car.
That's cool.
And then they bring out the box to your car.
Yeah, we've been eating pretty much 100% at home for the past. I want to get my blood tested now. It's probably kicking ass, but yeah, we just did one. We did a takeout here at Fourth Horseman. It was a pizza, one of our favorite vegan pizzas. Just came and just threw it back in the oven, heated up a little bit, and that was it. Other than that, 100% Angie keeping us carved.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of kitchen stuff. So let me ask you real quickly though, talking about Irvin's bakery. Is his mom still doing tamales for Saturday, or is it just all pastries?
Good question.
I don't know. I wasn't. I knew that they were tamales, like, because when I went to festivals and there was like the tamale people and it was the same people that worked at the bakery, right? I knew those were connected, but I didn't even realize you could buy tamales in the bakery.
Just on Saturdays.
My gosh, just on Saturday only. His mom makes these, like, this is like a really clean tamale. Like they're black bean filled or spinach.
Yeah, just really delicious, simple vegan tamale.
But really, really good.
So check that out. See, maybe call them and see if they're maybe off menu. You can order. Who knows? But they're delicious.
She might not be doing it now, but if she is, like, that, it's definitely worth picking up a couple tamales.
If she's making them.
Yeah, I'll probably do that again next weekend. Yeah, but I haven't been getting much takeout otherwise because I've just been, these copycat recipes, testing the recipe here. Like when I make a recipe, I test it out a couple times, and so that already takes up several meals. Yeah. And then I make the final version for the video, and then it's like, and then I've been eating that the whole time. And by the time I finish eating this like oily meal, I just want to eat kale for a few days.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been using this time too. The recipes for my second cookbook they're pretty much already in the book, but I don't always have photographs of the things or like photographs that are of a good enough quality for a cookbook. So I've been doing a lot of stuff for my cookbook lately too. But then I went through the list of the foods that I have, and I just trying to kind of fill in some of the blanks, because I have a lot of one pot things. I was like, okay, maybe we need a few little lighter things or things that are more going towards like brunch or breakfast. So I've been doing a lot of recipe stuff while I've been in quarantine as well.
Great opportunity to put those final touches on the recipes for the new book. I saw people saying they were watching this while eating something from Keep It Carb Baby, so that's completely awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and I thought might have seen a few questions about Keep It Carb Baby. As far as the printed book goes, it is sold out right now, guys. We don't have any. I'm not sure when we're going to repress it, because we're just going to, want to make sure we, put all the focus on to getting Angie's new book finished and pressed up.
It's super expensive to print the books, guys. Like, each individual book costs a lot, so we don't want to sink a bunch of, several $1,000s into pressing the old book when I have a brand new one I'm trying to get out into print. So it's just going to be ebook only for a while.
But we might. But yeah, ebook, you guys can see the link down there. We're still doing the ebook, 50% off. That's $6.50. And we're going to keep it that way for the duration of this pandemic.
Maybe
I don't know
forever.
If that means 2 months or 2 years, whatever it takes. We're going to keep it there, because I know, like us, a lot of people are at home making a lot more food at home now. We want to be able to help you guys out with that. Yeah, Jana says, just don't eat the cookbook. Don't
eat the cookbook itself.
And Gigolo, I forgot, asked about the Keep It Carb shirts, and I don't think we have no plans to press up any more Keep It Carb Baby shirts. However, I just went, I didn't go anywhere. I just did it here online. Made an order for new Happy Healthy Vegan t-shirts, since we're pretty much out. We just have a couple odd sizes left. So we have some new shirts coming in next week, and we have a whole new design, a new we never had a Happy Healthy Vegan muscle tee before.
We never have.
Ready for summertime. So we'll talk more about that soon enough, in about a week's time.
We should actually, I think we've been talking for a while now. We should go ahead and
take questions?
Yeah, take some questions. Please ask some questions to Lisa, because we'll be here again. But, Lisa's our special guest. So anything you want to ask about vegan Disney, or even, vegan activism or whatever.
Oh, there's one for Lisa from Bauhaus here. And start asking your questions, guys. Well, Lisa, I don't know if she can do this legally, make a vegan Disneyland shirt.
I've played with different designs, and I like, The problem is anything that's recognized by Disney is not allowed. It's just the copyright. They'll catch it. I mean, you can try for a while and see if they send you a cease and desist letter. Like, it's not the end of the world, right? But I don't want to like press my luck with a design that is. But I had, okay, so for example, I have, I sketched like, in Moana they have the pig and the rooster, right?
Yes.
And it's just like everybody recognizes Hey Hey and Pua, it's a pig and a rooster, but it's not any pig and any rooster. It's a Disney pig and a Disney rooster, right? And then I just have them, their little faces, and then over the top it says sidekicks, not food, right? Instead of friends, not food.
That's
the
nice.
Sidekicks, not food.
That's cute.
Anyway, but I can't, I just did a drawing I can't do anything with it because it would, you can't have a face of a character like that and start selling merch. Anyway, so, people get around this. They use silhouettes, or you can use the castle. You can use like a silhouette of a castle, or,
that's true.
Do more generic things. But, and, they, Vegan Disney World, the equivalent of me, but for Walt Disney World, Melissa, she has some shirts, and she has like the shark from Finding Nemo, and it says fish are friends, not food. And she has a few designs that you just like clever little designs that have Disney phrases without it being like stealing the image of the character, So I would like to one day, but I want it to be something that's safe. So it's surprisingly difficult to come up with something.
I've heard how aggressive Disney's legal team is in protecting their intellectual property. So yeah, you're right to have some fears about going down that road. But yeah, I've seen people do it. There's like a certain, I think, a minimum amount of modifications you have to make. But yeah, you're right. It's tricky. Karen asked a great question for you here. Is there anything vegan at the Jolly Holiday Cafe? I enjoy sitting outside and people watching there.
Yeah, it's called the grain salad. What is it called? Grilled veggie and grain salad. And so it's just a salad it has like cooked barley and stuff in it. So that's where you get like a lot of and it has just grilled veggies like what is it? I don't know, bell peppers and stuff, and mushrooms, I think. Yeah, so grilled veggies and then the cooked grains, and so it's a more substantial than like maybe your average salad. And then it comes with a dressing that's always vegan, like a basil vinaigrette. It's good, but it's not it's good, but it's like vegan food from like 5 years ago. It's like, when you go to a restaurant and you're like, okay, what vegan options do you have? And they're like, here's your salad. And you're like, oh, I do like salads. Like, I don't have a problem with salads. But when the salad is the only vegan option, I'm like, what year is it?
Totally.
So it's a great salad. If you're in the mood for salad, like go and get your salad and you'll enjoy it. But don't go there and then be like, but what about, I see you have a grilled cheese. How about a vegan grilled cheese?
Yeah.
That's what you really need, because they have their tomato soup and grilled cheese. That's like, they call it the Jolly Holiday combo. It's like the iconic thing from there. And the tomato soup isn't vegan either. It has milk in it. So
darn it.
Yeah. But they do make they make cappuccinos and lattes and stuff, and they have soy milk for that. So when I go to Jolly Holiday, I'm usually getting coffee, like a soy latte or something.
Yeah. Yeah, which do you think is the best coffee spot in the whole park?
Good question, yeah.
Because I got a Starbucks one and I was very disappointed.
Well, I mean, it's the same Starbucks you'll get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any fancier coffee. I mean, they're just Joffrey's. What they use all around the park is Joffrey's brand coffee. So any place that's not Starbucks where you're getting coffee is Joffrey's.
Okay.
So it's just maybe one step above Folgers. I don't know.
That's funny.
Are there any fancy coffees besides? I don't know.
Honestly, I like cold brew myself, and I remember I did get a cold brew from the cart that's right over by Paradise Pier or
Little
whatever.
Mermaid.
Yeah, kind of near there. I'm trying to think exactly where that cart is. I thought it was okay.
There's an interesting question from Oppie, because we know how there's sometimes when you go to restaurants, I call the vegan tax, how vegan food, like, wow, why are the vegan donuts like twice as much as the regular donuts at certain donut shops? I won't mention their name. But does Disneyland charge more for vegan food, Lisa? Is there a vegan tax?
The dishes are so different from each other that it's hard to, there aren't many things where it's like the equivalent, where you get like the same thing but the vegan version. You know what I mean?
But does it seem
So it's like-
inflated, or does it seem about right compared to the non-vegan counterparts?
Maybe the award wieners would be a good gauge of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could look up I think they all cost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to answer. My opinion was I don't see the vegan tax in effect at Disneyland. They seem to charge the fair price, which is the regular Disneyland
Which is
price.
how it should be.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it doesn't.
I feel like all those dogs cost the same. Okay, yeah, so I have the menu for award winners right here.
Nice.
Like the Uptown Chili Dog is $9.99, and then the beer cheese dog is $10.29, and the plant-based Philly dog is $10.29. So all of these dogs are between $9 and $10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the plant-based one is right up there with the other one. They're all between $9 and $10.
Yeah. Oh, probably also the tacos at the studio catering truck would probably be another gauge if the plant-based tacos were more.
I think when you customize those things, you just choose. You say, I want the plant-based protein, or I want whatever other.
I don't even know what other version there is.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Yeah, but it's like, because this is how much the dish costs, and then you tell them which one you want, so they're the same price.
There we go. Exactly.
So no vegan tax. Exactly. Good confirmation of what I suspected from going there so often.
Yeah. A lot of restaurants will say, okay, vegan option. We have a vegan burger available for add $2 or whatever. A lot of restaurants, right? I don't really know Disneyland doing that. Maybe in downtown Disney. I'm trying to think. Maybe Ballast Point does that. I'd have to look. Within Disneyland, I can't remember a single time where it's like an upcharge specifically for the vegan modification.
I see someone say, Amy, $10 for a hot dog.
I know.
Yeah, they're expensive, but these are
it's a fries.
These
too.
are
the best fries.
deluxe
Such
hot
good
dogs.
fries.
Yeah, they're not just like crappy. They're made quite well.
Yeah.
I saw a few people wondering. Logically, vegans should think this. What about like cross-contamination, cooking grills?
Oh, she talks about that on our vlog.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about that, Lisa?
Every time there's a new dish or a new location, I ask what the setup is, and so in general, Disney chefs are they'll tell you if something is made on a shared grill, but I don't. It's really a matter of personal preference. It's not a matter of whether a dish is vegan or not, because if you're going to eat in a restaurant that also serves animal products, there's always going to be some level of cross-contamination. And so if you don't, it's not about the microscopic bits of animal products that I may ingest. It's about whether I'm giving money to animal agriculture and whether I'm actually encouraging animal agriculture to continue, right? Mm-hmm. So, I always try to put the information on the blog, but I get a lot of people telling me I'm not a real vegan because I will accept something that was made on a shared grill. And I'm just, it in no way harms animals. We want to encourage these restaurants to continue to offer vegan options. And if we make it excessively difficult for them, they're going to be like, well, we're not going to get a new fryer. We're not going to get a new grill. So we can't offer any vegan options anymore if they're going to be so demanding. And I understand if people want for their own, some people, they'll get sick if they, know your own body. So, I want to provide that information for people on that level, but I don't want to tell people if it's on a shared grill, then it's not a vegan dish anymore, because it is still a vegan dish.
It is.
But you can choose to avoid it for your own preference, but it's still a vegan dish,
Yeah. That's how I feel too. I mean, obviously, if I have the option to go to a fully vegan restaurant, I prefer that. But at Disneyland, I mean, they're right now they're doing the best that they can, and I want to continue to support that. And as a show, and as in our own activism, we don't want to make veganism seem impossible and unattainable. Which, if you were living up to that standard, that you could never ever eat anywhere where there was a potential of cross-contamination,
or even worse,
that would make it really, really difficult to be a real vegan.
If you're supporting any business that has any any type of hand in animal agriculture, you can go to a supermarket because unless you have a vegan supermarket, you couldn't like go to the gas station. They sell beef jerky and the side. I mean, I'm just saying it gets to the point where it becomes this impossible thing. And I also like to point out, if you look at the well-accepted definition of veganism from the Vegan Society, it's a lifestyle which seeks to exclude as much as practically possible all forms of cruelty and exploitation to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So it doesn't say that perfection is absolutely necessary. Yeah, we try as much as practically possible. All right, just thought I'd get that philosophy out.
Yeah, if you like it to me, like if you care more about your own personal purity than making veganism seem attainable, like it's not about me. Veganism is not about me. It's about the animals. Like veganism is not about vegans. It's about animals, right? And so the best thing I can do for animals is to make veganism look doable to other people so that they'll hopefully go vegan. And I don't want to make it look impossible because that harms animals.
Well, I assume that's probably has a lot to do with why you do what you do. Because, I mean, some people probably don't understand that Happiest Vegan on Earth is not your job. It's your passion. Yeah. It's your passion project. You actually have a full-time job.
Ray Slever sums it up. Perfection shouldn't be the enemy of good. Well said, friend. Oscar's arguing, but you're eating animals. Yeah, we could split fine hairs there. I mean,
you're not eating animals. Yeah, it's like it's one thing to order a chicken, and it's another to have French fries, that are made next to hamburgers or whatever.
And hopefully, some of these places have whole separate grills. Some places do, but I like how Lisa put it. Yeah, you're showing these restaurants, hey, you guys are ordering vegan and non-vegan food ingredients. Let's order more of the vegan food ingredients. And right now, I know a lot of you guys have seen the news. I might do a story about it. That Beyond Meat is going hard right now because of the meat shortages. They actually are dropping the price of their foods right now. So more restaurants will start carrying their stuff. They want the price to be competitive with meat because, like I've said, it's a startup business. It's a new industry. They don't have the economies of scale all built up yet to produce at the capacity that they can to undercut meat. So, vote with your dollar. Show businesses that you want the plant-based options because we do. We're vegans. We want businesses to not buy cruelty products.
Also, on another note, not all the food there is grilled. So if you're concerned about foods that are grilled next to meat, then get non-grilled foods, which we don't really tend to order grilled foods there.
We don't eat grilled foods all that often.
I guess the plant-based dogs may be grilled before they go into the bun, but that's not like the main thing that we're eating there. Anyways, we're mostly eating the rice, beans, the Dole Whips, the hummus sandwich, popcorn, yada yada.
Oh, so Oscar wants to be a jerk. Sounds like we have a bunch of utilitarians here. We can split hairs and have debates, Oscar. If you want to have a debate sometime, let's talk about it. But now is not the time.
Or we can just call a troll and move on.
Yeah, let's just move on here. Yeah, I mean, if you want to add to the definition of veganism, that whole thing I just said a few minutes ago, and do it perfectly, if that's your trip, go for it, bro. More power to you. But if you try to set yourself up, present yourself as a model, an example for others to follow, you're not going to get too many people. I'm not encouraging cross-contamination. We go to restaurants, we pick them all the time, ones that have separate vegan kitchens, like one of our favorite restaurants here in Long Beach, Sura. They have their separate vegan kitchen. We do that as much as practically possible. All right, so it's not like, we don't give a crap. We do. Yeah, is Oscar even a vegan? Probably not. Yeah,
probably not. He wants to make veganism seem unattainable so that he can sway people over to his side, which is to give up on veganism. And, we're not going to do that here.
I think he's a troll. I don't know, I think he's a provoker. I can't remember his name. I think he's probably tried to argue about other things before. But we're going to move on. Like, Oscar, if you want to have a discussion about this, we can do it some other time. We have Lisa of Happiest Vegan on Earth here right now.
Which you cut me off before I could say when we were talking about Lisa doing a T-shirt design or something like that. Honestly, I love the saying Happiest Vegan on Earth, and I think even just having the name of your channel would be super cool.
With the castle in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. And it's just like, it's not me that's the happiest. When you go to Disneyland and you eat vegan food, you're the happiest vegan on Earth, right? Yeah. We're all the happiest vegan.
Exactly. So just don't steal their font and you'll probably be okay.
Find a font that's
I
close
always
to.
use Frozen font. That's what I use. I downloaded a Frozen font that I use on all my YouTube thumbnails.
I love that.
I wonder if but utilitarian is not an insult. I mean, utilitarian is just a branch of philosophy that seeks to like minimize suffering and maximize joy. Like it's not I don't know if I go back and forth. I mean, I have a PhD in German studies. I studied a lot of Kant, and I know I've studied a lot of ethics, right? And so I'm not like insulted being called a utilitarian. I wouldn't say that I'm 100% always utilitarian, but I'm also a little bit of deontologist and a little bit of consequentialist, but nobody can like insult me by calling me utilitarian.
I was wondering if Oscar was using utilitarian in the philosophical sense, or if it was some kind of special like perfectionist vegan definition of utilitarian, but we'll just leave it at that.
I've honestly never heard anyone lob that at us before.
Yeah,
I mean, it was obvious it was intended as some sort of an insult or some provocative talking point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Bauhaus Care has a good question. Lisa, speak to the reusable utensils and straws you use.
Great.
Oh yeah,
point.
I don't. I have a spork. So I have a steel spork, but it's not just. It has a spoon on one side and the fork on the other. And then the fork has a little bit of serrated edge, so it's enough to cut a little bit.
Nice.
And so it's from Light My Fire. It's like a camping. They're made for like camping, you know. So it's like a company that makes camping gear. And so I just have this one spork that I bring with me every day. And then I have a couple of straws. I have like maybe 3 or 4 steel straws I bring. And then I made some cloth napkins at some point, so I just wrap them up in a rubber band, and then I bring that every time. Every once in a while, like if I don't have time to. If like my steel spork is in the dishwasher and I'm like rushing out, I'll just grab a regular spoon and a regular fork and just put them in my bag.
Why
just
not?
bring them from home. You can just bring whatever utensils from home, so you don't have to do this.
What was your favorite Disney movie from when you were a kid?
Oh man, yeah. So before Frozen came out, I was an adult, I guess, when Frozen came out. I don't know what is kid, what is adult. I don't really know. I think my favorite when I was a kid was Alice in Wonderland from 1951.
Yeah.
It was, I loved the whole thing. I don't know. But then when they came out with the Johnny Depp versions, I was like, maybe this isn't my favorite anymore.
I know. Yeah, it's hard to claim it. I don't claim that version.
Yeah.
Love Alice in Wonderland. Love Johnny Depp, but don't like that movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it got too Tim Burton.
A lot of other stuff. Hercules. Hercules was my favorite one when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. God.
Yeah. And they announced there is a live-action Hercules in the works now.
No way. Wow.
It's not cast yet. It's in like pre-production. I think they're talking about like possible directors. But yeah, it's gonna. Oh, one of the directors from Avengers Endgame, and it's gonna. So I think they're gonna take it more in that superhero direction, which I totally understand, but. I don't know, like, I'm very attached to Hercules from 1997, so it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I wonder who they're going to get to play.
Well, here's a great question, because we haven't talked how we eat one way at home and eat a different way of vegan at Disneyland. Lisa, if you could create a vegan meal at Disneyland, what would it be?
Oh, that's a nice question.
Wait, what's the question?
If you could create a vegan meal at Disneyland, what would your meal contain? What would it be?
The Plaza Inn, the fried chicken at Plaza Inn, except for the fried chicken from Eat Love.
Oh.
Like a really good, or Original Herbivore does a really good vegan fried chicken too, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of different festivals lately, like, at a vegan festival, there's always like a couple of the trucks doing really good vegan fried chicken. Yeah, so probably that, but that's not healthy. Were we asking for healthy things or stuff that I want to be?
What vegan options do they not have at Disneyland that you would want? That's a great topic.
It could be naughty or healthy.
It could be whatever.
Yeah.
But you're right, there aren't any vegan fried chickens there. That is kind of a glaring omission.
Yeah, and then there's the Poultry Palace. So there's Main Street Plaza Inn, where it's like the iconic vegan. It's the iconic fried chicken on Main Street, and that's one of those things that. Okay, so I'll tell you a story. I was with he eventually became my ex, but we were engaged at the time.
Yeah.
And we were both pescatarian at the time. And we were just, the whole day I was like, I'm going to break up with this guy. This is horrible, right? And then we get to Plaza Inn and I'm like, oh, there really isn't anything here. I guess they have like a vegetarian pasta. I guess I'll get this. And then he says, you know what? I'm kind of tired of this whole thing. I'm just going to eat the fried chicken.
What?
I'm done. He was like done being pescatarian. He was like, I'm just going to eat all the meat now, you know.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's
all right.
crazy.
I mean, whatever. I was already in my head. I was already going to break up with him. So I was like, whatever.
And then, final straw.
So I sat there and watched him eat this fried chicken, and in my head, I was about to go vegan. Like I was thinking about going vegan, and I was just like, I was on my way, and we've been having these conversations where I told him like, I think I want to go vegan, and he was like, oh, I don't know. And we had fights about that already. And this moment of seeing him eating the Plaza Inn fried chicken and being like, nope, this is over. And then I went vegan after that. But I would like to reclaim the Plaza Inn fried chicken with a vegan fried chicken.
Oh, wow.
I just had a fantasy. If I could make a meal change or a food change at Disneyland, I would go and take over Rancho del Zocalo and make it all vegan and more more vegan options and everything vegan. There are all kinds of vegan tacos and burritos and tamales.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have a really good vegan burrito and vegan tamales there.
Lasagna, all sorts of vegan
Lasagna?
Mexicans, everything.
There?
Oh no, it's Italian. Wait, no, what am I thinking? No, what am I? I'm thinking of something else. Wait. Oh, whatever.
Tamales, enchiladas?
Enchiladas. That's what I mean. Enchiladas,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's no vegan enchiladas.
Just all sorts of vegan stuff at
How
Rancho
about
del Zocalo.
vegan quesadillas would be easy.
Vegan every Mexican thing at Rancho del Zocalo.
Vegan flan would
vegan
be
flan. Imagine what a great
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
And vegan, all these horchatas and everything.
Oh, there we go. That sounds good. Vegan horchatas.
Yeah.
How about
I was
this?
just saying this the other day.
What?
I was just actually talking about this the other day. You know the shooting gallery next to Rancho del Zocalo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who cares about that shooting? I don't know. Maybe some people like the shooting gallery. I never liked the shooting gallery.
Me either.
I've never
done it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough space where you could put in another attraction. Like, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, there's not really. But I had an idea for it. Vegan by Victoria's. The Victoria's Mexican bakery needs to be in that space. No more shooting gallery, just Funchess.
That would be amazing. That would be so good. Oh my God. I was just thinking, when we started talking about all these like alternative vegan Mexican foods, it made me think of some of the food festivals. So what's been like some of your favorite items that were just available at some of the food festivals?
Yeah, that was a question someone asked earlier. If you could pick a food or foods from those seasonal food events and make it permanent, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Laura asked that earlier, right? If you could make one permanent item from Food and Wine Festival and then make it permanent.
From any of these, like part-time, the Asian holiday, lunar, any of these things, yeah.
I mean, my first instinct is to say the Impossible Meatball Sub from the Food and Wine Festival. I feel like I may be forgetting something, but it's really, really good. And then the shepherd's pie with the pastry you make it on top.
Yeah, Baja's Cure said that the vegan pot pie, right?
That makes sense because
pie.
with the little Mickey thing, it would be amazing. I think a lot of people would order it. Even non-vegans
you know where they
would
can have
probably
that
try
at Flo's.
Oh, there you go.
The diner, the 50s diner food, like the comfort diner food, they can have that at Flo's.
Perfect.
And then the Impossible Meatball Sub at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta.
Ah, that's a missing piece for sure. Yeah, we've never actually tried the vegan pizza options that you've listed. Do you think any of them are worth getting at Disneyland?
That was the very first photo I posted on my Instagram was of the pizza, the personal pizza with the gluten-free crust and the vegan cheese on it.
Yeah.
And at the time that was like a revelation that you could get that they secretly had vegan cheese. And that was a really big deal at the time, but now compared to everything else they have, it's pretty far down on my list.
Yeah,
I'll get it. I'll get it if everybody else in my party wants to go to that location, but I wouldn't tell someone to go there if they hadn't gone through everything else first. Yeah.
It seemed really pricey for what it was.
Yeah, I forget how much it is, but it's just not. I'm glad that there's the option for people who avoid gluten, but the crust is. I wish it had gluten in it.
Yeah, it doesn't bake the same.
I just thought of another great dish I wish I could have from Disneyland right now. When we're talking about our favorite ones, I'm surprised no one brought up from California Adventure Park the vegan Vietnamese banh mi sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's rad.
That thing's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good too.
Actually, I really liked this. I mean, even though this is, once again, it's kind of old school and basic, but when they have the vegan soup option inside of the sourdough bread over there at...
right next to the vegan banh mi,
Yeah.
The bakery. What's that place called?
I know. That bakery's really yummy.
Yeah, it was closed last time we went.
Yeah, it seemed like... Do you know what was going on? Why was the bakery closed for like a month before all this stuff happened?
The Pacific Wharf Cafe.
Yeah. There's...
I don't know. I guess they were doing refurb. That's the thing is so for Christmas time they had the pumpkin soup in the bread bowl, but for the rest of the year, their normal menu they don't have anything. They can't even really do a salad because they don't have a vegan dressing.
Pathetic.
So that's one of those really. But yeah, that one in Flo's. I was hoping because they had that vegan soup for the festival of holidays.
So
I
good.
thought this would be a great opportunity for them to just keep it on the menu so they could have one thing, and they didn't, and so.
Yeah, that's a real disappointment.
It's crazy. There's so much good. I keep saying there's just so much good vegan stuff at Disneyland. It's crazy, and some of it's just seasonal too. It just comes and goes. There's permanent stuff.
Oh man,
I know. I'm getting hungry now just thinking about all these things.
I'm starving almost. I'm so starving now. Good thing we have some leftover soup that I made last night.
Our healthy homemade food that we've been eating.
Yeah. Well, okay. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about that we haven't brought up?
Yeah.
This is the
Lisa.
time.
And also, too, question, guys, before Lisa's going here, this is the last time to throw some questions out here.
Wow, it's almost 9.
Yeah.
We've really been gabbing.
I know.
Whoa.
I know. The chili at Boudin Bakery, that's been gone for a long time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Yeah, so sometimes this is what happens is that there are blog posts that float around from even before I started documenting things, and there'll be something from like 5-6 years ago, and then people will cite it, and then it's like that dish has been off the menu for years, and then people are all confused, and it's like, so a lot of things. I wish people would like update if people who don't go to they go to the park once every 3 years, and then they're like, here's my blog about my vegan life, and this one entry is about Disneyland, and then it just sits there on the internet confusing people for years and years, Yeah. So people need to but the reader it's the responsibility of the reader to realize that something from 3 years ago is probably not going to be 100% accurate anymore.
That's true.
So you can't go back and update everything you've ever written, but the reader needs to be really careful with that too. But it's not everybody. Like I have this encyclopedic knowledge about the food at Disneyland because it's my it's like the niche, but not everybody can keep all this stuff in their head. They have other stuff they're keeping in their heads,
And I love that. I feel like I could DM you at any time and ask you a question, and you'll already know the answer.
Just everyone to follow Lisa. That's it. These other people aren't going to update their old blogs.
I know, don't trust them.
Yeah, just follow Lisa.
Yeah. I think I remember even seeing PETA had passed on some old knowledge that wasn't good anymore, and I was like, oh, come on, you guys. You're thought of as authorities, and you're passing on bad info.
I say a super chat tip question from Kika. Kika's trying to be very provocative here, but Kika's cool. Kika, we love Kika.
I know,
here.
I remember Kika.
And if you feel comfortable answering Kika's question, Lisa, you can go for it. If not, it's totally cool.
What's your question?
I'm a Bernie girl. I can tell you quite.
Yeah, so Kika's gonna love you because Kika is a big Bernie supporter, and as I am too. I got my Bernie sign.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at it.
It's right here. So go Bernie.
Yeah, I lived in Germany for 3 years, and German is my life. I teach German, right? And so when I lived in Germany, and I got really great healthcare for super affordable, and I just a lot of the things he talked about, I lived firsthand. I lived when he promises things that I'm like, these aren't just pie in the sky things. They have this in Germany.
And it's really horrible, right? People are oppressed there and really pissed off about free low cost health coverage and stuff. They don't like it, right? I'm joking. I'm being facetious.
That's just super dry.
And it's they have a mixed system in Germany. There is public healthcare and private healthcare, but the private system is so much more ethical than what we have now. They're not trying to price gouge, and there are private health insurance companies, but they're not like ours. They charge a fair price and you can pay it, or you can get on the public system. And university is free. Like, I didn't pay anything for my university. I went over there and and it's awesome.
So when Bernie says these things, it sounds like pie in the sky to some people, but it depends where your country's priorities are. So obviously these things can happen, right? It's not just crazy talk.
Yeah. There are more questions. Let's see.
Yeah, you got people interested in Germany now.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I'm not married.
Oh, wow. How about, do you know any good Disney conspiracies?
Conspiracies.
Let's see. I mean, I do get people telling me they see Walt's ghost and stuff.
That's a good one.
This is the thing. Whenever I meet I've met some cast members before. They're like, yeah, I was walking up Main Street at 3 a.m. and I saw Walt walking on Main Street. Like,
that's awesome.
But there are lots of like haunted mansion stories, like if you look on these YouTube channels that talk about the Disneyland fandom stuff, They'll be like ghost stories from the haunted mansion. You have to like say hello to this certain ghost every morning, or I forget what his name is, but like supposedly some cast member died there, decades ago, and then you have to say hello to his ghost every morning, or else it's bad luck.
Whoa. Dude, speaking of the Haunted Mansion, the art show that they had for Haunted Mansion this last year was so cool. I loved seeing all the original concepts, drawings and stuff for how they imagined it. Like, I kind of wish they had done that really elaborate one where you're going through the graveyard as you work your way up to the mansion. That would have been like ultra spooky. I mean, you kind of wind your way through the graveyard, but the original drawing was like, it was next level. Like, it was up on a hill and everything.
I want to get to a question that was asked maybe an hour ago. This person might not even be here.
Wow.
But I think it's a really, really good one. Someone I think they were kind of being a little condescending, maybe, saying that Disneyland is a place for kids. What do we think?
That old chestnut.
What do we think of that, Lisa?
Well, I mean, it goes back to when the Disney Brothers Studios were founded, right? This is what sets Disney animation apart from other animation. When I see a trailer for an animated kids movie that's not Disney, I'm just like, oh, this is for kids. But then I watch the movie and I'm like, wait, this is different. I can't watch those any of the other animated studios that are making kids movies. I can't watch them. It's just like, it's very different, right? And so the theme park, I mean, this is the story that people always tell. Walt was on Saturdays, he would go to Griffith Park with his daughters, and he sat there at the carousel and was eating peanuts on the bench and said, I think there should be some sort of entertainment enterprise where the whole family can have fun together, right? And where it has something for everybody. That's the whole point of Disneyland. It's not just for kids, right? I think it's more for adults. Sometimes I think that there isn't much for kids at Disneyland. Like, it offers more to adults.
It's so funny.
Because when they took out Bugland, right? They took out Bugland.
Yeah.
Those were all kiddie rides. There's like, maybe Cars Land has those kind of kiddie rides in Cars Land, but
not really. There's some pretty scary rides over there. But I guess the one where all the cars are doing the dance together or whatever, that's kind of kiddie ride.
Isn't there a quote from Walt where he explicitly stated Disneyland is for kids of all ages or something like that?
Yeah, Disneyland's for the young and the young at heart. Or the dedication speech, on the first day it opened, it says, here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
Yeah, I agree.
It's for every age.
You're only as old as you want yourself to be, I mean, there's nothing stopping any adult from enjoying Disneyland. If you want to be cut off to fun, cool, but that's on you.
I mean, like we said, we're the three of us are primarily going there for dining experiences in an interesting location anyways. And you're just a huge Disney aficionado in general. Like, all the movies and you keep up with everything. So, I mean... Yeah, and I love musical theater. I think, like, going to Broadway, maybe some people think that going to Broadway for adults is weird, too. But I'm just like, I mean, I want to go and I want to watch a show with great music and great singing and great dancing. And maybe it's a little corny for some people, but not too corny for me. Oh yeah, you must be so sad about the fact that there's not going to be any parades for a while. I know you really love the parades.
Oh, that's what they said. Yeah, there'll be no parades when they start reopening. Let me just take a quick pause here. We got a super chat tip from Darren D. And I've not heard of this. Is this a vegan place? Because this is cool if you can buy vegan ice cream from Seattle. It said Frankie and Joe's Ice Cream Rocks, ships from Seattle. If you're still here, Darren, let us know more there. Have you guys heard of Frankie and Joe's shipping from Seattle?
I haven't.
Huh.
I've never heard of them, no.
Well, we'll take a look because, our favorite ice cream from Salt and Straw down there in downtown Disney, even though they're based in Portland, they said they're not making our favorite vegan flavor now. Is that right? Just some sherbets?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I looked on their website to see what they were doing as far as shipping, and there was 0 vegan options. So I actually took the time to write them, and I was like, hey, it'd be great if you had some vegan options here, da-da-da. And they wrote back, and they're like, they basically said, like, we would love to offer the vegan. We just don't have any right now, and we're working at a slower capacity, da-da-da. But then I guess we kind of both noticed at the same time. This weekend I looked, they had 2 vegan flavors. They had the strawberry coconut water and some kind of...
Oh,
they had a sherbet, too. Some kind of a sherbet.
I think that's the same flavor.
Oh, okay.
Strawberry coconut water sherbet. I think
There
that's
was
all one
mint
flavor.
choco. They had the mint chocolate
Oh,
chip.
they do have that?
They did
Oh, I
this
looked on the website
weekend.
This morning and I didn't see it.
Yeah,
this weekend they had.
This weekend they had,
Yeah, I
and
looked
he
this
hates
morning.
mint chocolate chips. So I was like, can he?
Yeah.
Well, good news. Darren says yes, they're vegan in a little Pacific Northwest vegan ice cream competition.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Well, I might be willing to check that out because
Yeah.
I don't want to order $65 worth of strawberry coconut water.
I know. Yeah, I mean,
No.
I got a pint. I mean, I just have some So Delicious from the grocery store. There's
That's
still
fun.
like the grocery store has lots of delicious vegan ice cream still.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
ordered
not
kind
like
of
the
spoiled.
special-
Getting more confirmation in the chat here. Olivia, Frankie and Joe's is the best ice cream ever. All vegan. I have 4 pints in my fridge right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's
They're
some
ready
high,
to party.
high recommendations here, guys. So thanks, you
Durr.
guys have taught us something here. Thanks for sharing that. We will definitely look into it because, I mean, we can all appreciate a good vegan ice cream.
Yeah, especially now that it's a heat wave. How hot is it in Anaheim right now, by the way, Lisa?
I'm sweating. It was supposed to be a high of 89 today, but I don't know. It's pretty hot. But I try not to. I don't really open I don't open the window at all.
Wow.
I'm just like in my cave.
Yeah.
So it's just-
What's your?
Maybe at night you can open it to try to air it out, but in the daytime I wouldn't recommend it.
Do you have a favorite
Yeah.
Disney song, Lisa? Johnna wants to know your favorite Disney
Oh,
song.
that's a great question to ask Lisa.
Oh man, I have so many. I mean, I think probably "Show Yourself" from Frozen 2 is
Ah.
my favorite Disney song.
Nice.
Makes me cry every time.
Aw.
But I mean, all those Frozen songs I love a lot. But if we're talking like all of Disney, I really love all the songs from Newsies. From the music from the Broadway musical. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Frozen.
All
That's what
right.
it is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Into the Unknown, obviously. Into the Unknown from the Panic in the Disco version with Brendan Urie. I don't know how I missed this, but Brendan Urie is hot. Everybody called Brendan Urie for like 10 years, and I'm like, who is this person?
Oh,
Wait.
wow. So you were a decade late to the game?
Yeah, suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I haven't known about him this whole time. And then I found out that he was raised Mormon too, and I'm just like, ooh, an ex-Mormon, and he's hot, and he sings really well. I'm like,
And he covered Frozen.
I know, and he like sings a Frozen song.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
That's
pretty
so
good stuff.
funny.
I want to quickly answer that one because I have a Disney favorite. Like, obviously, I love Small World. I love the spiritual message of that. I love to sing along to the Tiki Room theme song. But the one that kind of gets me most emotionally is kind of the music that I'm like really into, like stylistic wise, chord wise, would be Chim Chimney.
I knew you were going to say, because I was thinking it too.
Oh, I love that song.
Chimney, Oh, how sad were you when they shut down that particular, what do you call it? Parade. I remember, I think we were with you on one of the last times, but you actually went to the very last showing of, you know the names of all these things. I'm terrible. I'm like, oh, the one that's actually got the chimney
Mary Poppins
sweepers.
people.
Yeah,
yeah, Sensational Parade.
that's it. That was a good parade. That was definitely
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, those guys are cool.
Yeah. because the chimney sweep dancing was so good. The choreography was so good.
They're
And I'm like,
amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're going to take my chimney sweeps away, and they took away the Newsboys, the Red Trolley Newsboy show, which is, uses, has one of the same songs from the Newsies Broadway musical. I can't believe they took those away at the same time. And then, and so when so Magic Happens, the new parade, it's glorious. It's a beautiful parade, but it doesn't have chimney sweeps. And it doesn't have a group of like 12 hot guys doing flips the way I wanted it to.
Aww.
It's all right. The dancers are great, but it's not quite at the same level as the chimney sweep.
That's sad.
I see that Hench Herbivore popped on for a moment here.
Henchy.
Someone say hi to our friend Paul in England. Good morning to you, Henchy.
We're kind of wrapping it up, Paul.
Yeah.
It's already 9:05. I was thinking, we'll try to wrap it up by 9, but
Yeah, people are getting tired, but Race Lover threw the hammer down. He said, no one goes to bed till live stream's over.
that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, how about one more question though about the performances? So no more parades, no more fireworks. I can't say I'm too sad about the fireworks because they're not really environmentally friendly or good for animals, But how about regular performances? Do you think that they'll still put on shows, or will they just wait until they can have a full capacity crowd for a show?
Like what kind of shows?
Like inside the buildings.
They said what they're doing for Shanghai right now is they're seating guests every other row and spaces between parties.
Okay.
So, for example, if we were going to do like the Hyperion Theater where Frozen is now in California Adventure, they would intentionally seat people far away from each party. So yeah, for a theater that has seats like that, I think they're going to try to continue to do the show with a very sparse audience.
That's good. So it'd be good to get the performers back to work. I'm sure they really miss it.
Yeah. I want to say real quick, I'm going to do a post about this, the Avengers Campus options. Right before this all went down, they did actually release some information about the Pim Test Kitchen, and that. So they actually released some concept art and some pictures of dishes. So I never got around to making a post about that because it was just like right as things were going down. And I'm like, I'm not going to post about this hypothetical, when is Avengers Campus even going to be done? I'm sure the construction will be delayed. So I never made a post about that, but they did release some stuff. And assuming that, they go on with the same plan, it's going to be delayed, but they're probably going to keep those same dishes they designed. So I'm going to just go ahead and make an Instagram post about that in the next couple days.
I have a great question.
I meant to ask you about that earlier when we were talking about Hercules. I was like, we got to talk about the new part of California Adventure.
I have a great question.
So I imagine if the live action movie's coming out, he'll probably, they'll probably have some characters and some tie-ins with that in this new area.
I know. Hercules never gets any love in the park.
You gotta lobby for it. Bring him to the Avengers
What's our
Campus.
favorite ride that is no longer there?
What do you guys have?
I don't know if I would really say the People Movers. Let me think.
People Mover's cool. I have two. I like the adventure into inner space.
I know.
I thought that was so awesome.
It's been so many decades since I've been on it. I can't remember much, but I remember liking the entryway into it.
Yeah, how they shrink. I used to call it the shrinking machine when I was in school. And one that went away, and it came back for like a year or two, and then it's gone forever, is Michael Jackson, Captain EO.
That was really fun when we got to go back and see it.
And they've never done anything good with that space, I think, ever since then. But everyone who saw that, I saw it as a kid, then it went away for like a decade or two. It came back maybe 10, 15 years ago, and I saw it, and I was stunned at how powerful it was. It's like him at his prime music making years, dancing years. It was awesome.
Yeah. So the thing is, I must have been super young when I think that the Skyway buckets and the People Mover still existed into the early 90s, right?
I think so.
Or the late 80s, early 90s.
Somewhere in there. I think it made it to the 90s.
Yeah, I asked my mom, like, did you ever take me on the Skyway buckets or the People Mover? I was born in 1986. And so I was like, theoretically, I was at the park once a year when I was like 3 to 6 years old or something. And I was like, did we ever go on that? And she's like, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been on the Skyway buckets or People Mover.
Skyway buckets scared me.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Fear of heights.
But I've been on the People Mover over in Florida. I went to Walt Disney World and I went on the People Mover in Tomorrowland in Florida.
They still have it right
and
now?
It was beautiful. Yeah, they still have it. You can go on People Mover right now. Not right now. but and I just love the People Mover. Their Tomorrowland, obviously our Disneyland is better for a lot of reasons because, it's Walt's Park. But I will say that their Tomorrowland is better. They have the People Mover and just the whole Tomorrowland feels better with it. And they also have like Carousel Progress. They got a good Tomorrowland over there.
Yeah.
So.
Our Tomorrowland doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, it used to be
it's
cool.
all hacked together. Yeah, it was cool, and it was like I don't know, they could have just left it stuck in mid-century time it just wouldn't Tomorrowland wouldn't have made sense, but maybe they could have changed the name somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys! I think I'm getting too hungry to think anymore.
We haven't had any foods in a long, long time, actually. So,
I know, I'm starving.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I'm starving, guys.
We didn't have enough really time to eat before the stream, so I knew we were gonna have some like hunger issues towards the end here. But this is cool. You guys asked some really good questions of us all here.
Race Lover was at Todayland all day. Yeah.
Not a bad place to be.
So once again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is Lisa, happiest vegan on earth. She has an Instagram, YouTube, and website, all of the same name. So definitely be sure to follow her on those social medias and to check out her blog regularly. She's been doing some Disney vegan food recipe demos, and the written recipes are on her site, and she's about to spill some tea about some new things going on in Disneyland, it sounds like.
I put some links. There's links down in the show description, so you can start by clicking those and follow.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, definitely follow her here on YouTube. She's got some great videos vlogging all of her vegan food experiences at all of the different Disneyland areas. And it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is so fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It was great to see you again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be on the live stream with Vegan Zombie tomorrow night.
Oh, no.
No way! Someone
I'll be
mentioned you guys in this.
This time tomorrow, it'll be me and Vegan Zombie instead of me and you guys.
Oh,
that's
that's
really
crazy. Well, maybe you'll see us in the chat then.
Are you guys going to talk about Disneyland stuff?
Yeah, he said he wanted to know about the project and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad I beat him.
We never met before. We never met before, but Darth Vegan and Kika said that we should meet.
Be Vegan Zombie?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really mean guy. Watch out. He'll beat you up verbally. No, I'm just joking. He's like one of the sweetest guys I know. Sweetest humans I know. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I saw someone had commented something about, were you here the time that we were like shipping her with Vegan Zombie?
Really? I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'll try to watch out. Want to plug, do you know what time that's going to be tomorrow?
It'll be 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m.
Eastern
time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great.
All right, cool. Try to hop on. I think I will be here. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Probably,
we're
yeah.
always here.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Well,
Cool.
thanks, Lisa, and thanks everyone for being here. And if I remember, I think it was you guys, the audience here, that suggested that I get Happiest Vegan on Earth.
You're right. And I was like, it's a no-brainer.
Slam dunk. How come I didn't think of that? So.
Oh, and I'm like, I'll actually come to live. This is the first live stream I've actually even really done.
From beginning
to
end. Yeah, I think it might be the first one you've done beginning.
I just walk in for like a half hour.
Yeah. So thanks, Leo. Thanks for joining us. This was fun, and thanks, guys. Thanks, Race Lover. You've been. I didn't get a chance to thank you much yet. Race Lover did a great job. I didn't really see any trolls, and you guys have been cool. Everyone watching, thanks so much. It really means a lot. You guys are following what we're doing and receptive and enjoying it. So we keeps us motivated to keep bringing you guys content. So thanks so much, guys. All due to you guys. So we'll let you guys go off to your night. Let Lisa get ready to go to work, I guess, tomorrow or teach from home.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Finals now.
Oh, it's fine. What is
I'm
that
so
time
sorry. Yikes. Oh my gosh.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. So, yeah, not sure when the next live stream will be, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get the notifications for the next one.
I should have a vlog this weekend, by the way. My weekly vlog is just a little bit late.
Angie has a vlog, and someone was asking earlier, and the back burner, she's working on another Angie's Animal Friends. So we're not sure when that'll be out, but it's coming.
He said he's going to make a jingle, so I've been waiting for the jingle.
I'll try to make the jingle tomorrow. All right, bye, guys, and bye, Lisa.
Bye. Love you guys.